Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. Today I'm going to read through a video that I posted about a year and a half ago in July or August of 2024, summer of 2024. And where I originally posted it on Twitter, that account has since been taken down. I reposted it to YouTube, but it was buried in another video somewhere. And then I just reposted it, the whole thing, just clearly with the clear title that says Walmart's involvement in mass shootings. It's very clear what the subject matter is. But the problem with it is this video, it's only 20 minutes long, but it's mostly text panels and graphic text overlays and graphics and things like that. There isn't a lot of the message of this video is just in writing and no audio except the clips of various songs that mention cigarettes and tobacco and cigars and smoking and things like that. So I'm going to explain it in case anybody needs to ask, when you go to YouTube, interpret, please give me a transcript for this video. It just doesn't make any sense right now, but maybe it'll make sense when I add some context to it. So for now, the video opens with a text overlay that says Walmart radio cigarette ads from June 10th, 2024 to July 3rd, 2024. I was terminated on July 6th, 2024 from Walmart. It has a lot to do with this video. I really poked the bear, I call it. I really went after them. I was trying to get them to stop playing cigarette ads. I've been doing this for decades now, trying to get radio stations to stop playing cigarette ads. The reason being, as I'll state later in the video, to Kelly Albrecht, who's head of security, global security, something like that, at Walmart at headquarters in Bentonville, Arkansas. We did at her request, we did a Zoom call and on June 30th, where they were worried about, I was just trying to get their attention, which I did, and I said, look, this is not just cigarette ads, which are inappropriate. Any kind of song mentioning cigarettes, smoking, is inappropriate to be blasting in Walmart stores where there are kids everywhere and just a general audience like this. The people blasting the kids know that cigarette advertising works this way. It works very well. And that's why they I'm almost 100% sure that they pay DJs or whoever executive over there at Walmart Radio under the table to play these songs, certain songs on the radio to get to influence kids to smoke cigarettes. Just hearing it, thinking it's cool, whatever it is, it works. And even if they don't mention Marlboro, because the whole tobacco industry, there's just four companies basically. They run all of the tobacco industry. It's an oligarchy. It's really not quite a monopoly, but if you get one kid to smoke, everybody wins. So that you don't have to mention Marlboros, you don't have to mention a specific brand, you just need to get kids to smoke. Okay, and then you've got a customer for life. Now, that's only part of the problem. I'm not doing this for the health of everybody and this kind of thing. I'm doing this because the tobacco industry is a slimy industry, and I believe I had connections, and I always try to do patterns and try to figure things out, but it feels like they're connected to the mass shootings. It's a very, very political group of people, and they're trying to prevent, they try to prevent marijuana from becoming legalized because that's the number one competitor. They're just very political, so they pull off these mass shootings for political reasons. And also, I'm recently finding out it's more than that. It's even worse. They're probably tightly linked to pedophile rings and infantophile rings and all sorts of messy stuff going on. Okay, so, we just need to, if you want to drain the swamp, you need to stop the funding. And a lot of the funding is getting more and more kids to smoke. And then you have, this army of people who could be paid in cigarettes is theory. Like, now that I'm figuring this out, it's like, what is it about the tobacco swamp that is so hard to drain this swamp? The pharmaceutical swamp is, being drained, and the religion swamp is being drained, the defense contractor swamp is being drained. The tobacco swamp was starting to drain over a decade ago, and they're keep coming back. It's because they're different from the other swamps. The pharmaceutical swamp, you can make an army of people who are on drugs, but they're not as reliable. The smokers, at least, can be very functioning. You could always pay some cop or some, even the homeless shelters are full, the jails are full, all these, you know, criminal elements that could be paid instead of in cash, they could be paid in cigarette cartons. And I've seen it with my own eyes. And so that's why this is we need to stop creating, soldiers for this swamp. And the way you do that is you stop advertising cigarettes to little kids on Walmart radio. In addition, it's illegal anyway. Advertising cigarettes to kids in this manner, if somebody at Walmart radio, a few people are receiving cash under the table, executives, to put these certain, what I call cigarette songs, cigarette ads, out on the radio, that would be unlawful and illegal and possibly criminal under the Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act of 2009. They're very specific on this, and they're also very specific on point of sale advertising. You know, the big Marlboro signs that you see at Walmart, you go in and it's a huge Marlboro sign right there where all the kids can see it, usually when you're checking out. Those have been illegal since 2009, and that shows up in this video as well. I mean, I've been taking pictures at Walmarts for years where they have these illegal signs in every Walmart I've been in, just about, except a few states where they don't allow stores that sell, some states don't allow stores that sell pharmaceuticals to also sell tobacco. So, but most every other state, what do I have? 88 Walmart stores that I've taken pictures at across the country that have illegal tobacco that violate this law from 2009. So now it's just like, let's get it moving, guys. This has been a long time coming. Walmart needs to stop doing that. Fortunately, okay, let's just get going. But just last weekend, I went to the last Walmart here, and we'll see it at the end. Actually, let's just get moving. I could cut a lot of this out. So it also says, this panel, the time, June 10th, 2024 through July 3rd, 2024, and it also says 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday through Wednesday. So I was a full-time I was a full-time hourly worker. I did the online pickup and delivery, which means you shop for people who shop online. You go and actually shop in the store, and then the second half of our group would load it into the car. I did that at first, but most of this, by the time I was working here, I was in the actual shopping half of this kind of unit where we did this. So I was in the store all day listening to Walmart radio, which I love. It's like it's the best radio station, except for a very few tobacco songs that I didn't like, and I was hitting them up for this. And I would hit them up on Twitter for this. So these are the times all these songs came up, and let's, without much further ado, let's go on. Oh, so over the next minute or two, what's going to happen is you're going to hear a lot of clips of cigarette songs. And what you don't see, what you can't hear, and what's going to show up on the graphics is on the left, there's going to be the Shazam of the song. On the right, it's going to list the date and the time it played as proven by the Shazam. And then the lyrics that have the cigarette ad in it. It's either mentioning smoke, cigars, but cigarettes is the big one. That's one that gets the most money if you could play cigarettes, especially if you could play a song that mentions Marlboro or something. It's usually Marlboro. So without further ado, I'll get to you when we get to the other end. I might mention the song along the way. We'll see over the lyrics. But I don't want to slow this down too much. So let's go. So at the bottom of the screen, it says Walmart. It's got the little Walmart star and everything. That little thing on the bottom, I think, shows out throughout the whole video. But what you just heard, if you're in the store, all the Walmart employees know that it's a little jingle that plays at the top of the hour, on the hour, every hour. So we all know it. 9 times a day you hear it, 9, 10 times a day. All right, here we go. You Found Me by The Fray. Piano Man, Billy Joel. Castle on the Hill by Ed Sheeran. So this graphic not only shows Opposites Attract, it's called Opposites Attract by Paula Abdul, but it shows a part of the video where it's a cool cat, a cartoon meant specifically to target kids. So this is a very important song by Walmart Radio. You know it's important because when I finally get them to stop playing cigarettes and they go under for a while and they don't play cigarettes for a while, they'll still continue playing all sorts of Paula Abdul songs just to keep her up on being cool and being relevant. The album that has this on it, they'll promote the whole album. So that, and then they'll eventually come back to playing this song. This is a very important song for targeting kids. So it has her saying, I don't like cigarettes, and she pulls a cigarette out of this cartoon character's mouth. It's a cool cat. He's really cool. And then he says, but I like to smoke, and he pulls the cigarette back, and then he pushes her down on the sofa in a dominant position. And it was like, I like to smoke, lady, and it's almost a domestic violence situation. It seems like she's trying to make out like it's all fun and everything. This is not appropriate for kids, and I don't think they should be playing this song. So, I mean, I'm sure if you asked a bunch of parents this, they would say, oh, hell yeah, but nobody knows what's really going on. They don't understand when this song is playing. They maybe don't even hear the cigarette ads, but the kids do. It's about the subconscious. The kids will hear it, and then later on, they'll hear the song somewhere when they're older, and they'll say, wow, I really like that song. I don't know why. It brings back some memories or whatever. And then they're, 10, 11, they're going to watch this video and they like this song and they're attracted to cigarettes this way. Believe me, the people playing this song at Walmart Radio, they know exactly what they're doing, the bad eggs, and I'm trying to get them out of there. Okay, so yeah, the ones that I'm now calling pedophiles and infantophiles. And yeah, that's all. Let's go. Under You, Foo Fighters. I'm not saying the dates. This one's Saturday, June 15th, 2024, 4:17 p.m. But every clip going by has a date and the lyrics as well as the Shazam picture.
Then he bombed a cigarette and asked me for a light. Crushed out a cigarette, reading it off to sleep.
The Gambler by Kenny Rogers. Opposites Attract again, Paula Abdul. Paris by the Chainsmokers. Mr. Brightside by the Killers. Walk Like an Egyptian, the Bangles.
A man with a big cigar was getting into his car.
Some Beach by Blake Shelton. Under You by the Foo Fighters. Paris by the Chainsmokers. By the way, just the name Chainsmokers is, I consider it a cigarette ad.
Then he bombed a cigarette and asked me for a light. Crushed out a cigarette, reading it off to sleep.
That should be up here.
I don't like cigarettes, I like to smoke.
Opposites Attract, Paula Abdul.
And she's calling a cab while he's having a smoke. And she's taking a track, now they're going to bed. But she's touching his chest now. He takes off her dress now.
So that's Mr. Brightside by the Killers, and I figured this was later. You can notice this time I add more lyrics. Now they're going to bed, she's touching his chest now, he takes off her dress now. Just to underline and underscore the inappropriateness of this for kids. It's supposed to be a family-friendly kind of radio, and this shows that Mr. Brightside has other songs. There's thousands of songs that could be played that are better and more popular and everything. The only reason this song is being played because it is a tobacco ad, and there's tons of examples of this. But I just wanted to say, really, do you think this is really family-friendly song to be playing? What is it? Hundreds of times a week? Not hundreds of times a week. I would say they probably played this, well, possibly, I don't know, at least, 20 times a week to hundreds of thousands, millions of workers and customers. The Gambler, The Gambler, Kenny Rogers.
Somebody pour me a drink, somebody pour me a smoke. I'm about to get on a buzz, I'm about to get on a roll.
So this is Pour Me a Drink with Post Malone featuring Blake Shelton. They say, somebody bum me a smoke. Oh, somebody pour me a drink, somebody bum me a smoke. I'm about to get on a buzz, I'm about to get on a roll. They say it 3 times. So the third time they say it, I actually cut to the video of Post Malone smoking a cigarette. It's in the music video. But another reason why this is a kind of an important thing I stopped to talk about here was this played. This was the first time it played. The song just came out. The first time I heard it play on Walmart radio. But it was also Sunday, June 30th. It's Sunday, June 30th at 4:49 p.m. And I was slated to have a Zoom call with somebody from Kelly Albrecht. She's the head of security at the time at Walmart in Bentonville, the headquarters, head of security for global or something like that. But they wanted to talk to me because up until this point, every time a cigarette song would play, I would go online on Twitter. I would add to this video. This just wasn't a video I did all night. It started with the first songs on the first day, and then every time they played a cigarette ad, I would add the clip and the date and the time, and with that video growing every time. And I wouldn't post it until they played a cigarette song. And I said, every time you guys play a cigarette ad, I'm going to post this. And when I did, I blasted everybody. I sent this out to Walmart radio several times. It was almost, I was really trying to poke the bear. I was trying to get some attention on this. I was really fed up with it because I was also worried with all the, you're going to see later, I was really worried about them planning something at the Paris Olympics at the Olympics in Paris, which were coming up in another month, especially when they kept playing the song Paris. And, this wasn't something that I hadn't been tracking for years, was the tobacco industry's involvement with what I thought was their involvement with mass shootings. It just felt like I was getting bad vibes everywhere. I'm very good with vibes. And I said, so I really wanted the attention of Walmart. I really wanted them to find these people. So the important thing about this one was I talked to Kelly Albrecht about this song in particular. I said it just played before we just started. Now, the interview, I taped most of it. It was a Zoom call that was 50 minutes long. I only have very small clips of it. I have the full interview. If it comes up in the lawsuit later, it will. All right. I just wanted attention to this. I wanted her to find out, or the security, who was playing this shit, which was inappropriate for a family just to begin with, just that alone, much less being illegal. They're most likely getting paid under the table. And if somebody say, well, prove it. And it's like, what? I am just a little worker. What? It's not up to me to prove it. It's up to the fucking security to go and look into it and get to the bottom of it. And they're still doing it. They're still not. And it's not even, they're not. It's just because it's a very, very, very powerful entity that's doing this. So it's not just Walmart, it was Target, it's all the radio stations, and now it's imploding, and now we're finally going to get some stuff. But the important thing here was, I can tell even now I was starting to have an effect on the radio, and I'll show you the pattern later that I was breaking up. So as of now, they were kind of like not playing, like they were aware of me, and that's why they sicked Kelly Albrecht on me. They were trying to get her to fire me, or whatever it was. It was like they wanted to find out if I was, like, they were saying I was the threat. I was going to cause a mass shooting. That's what it was, and I understood that. I understand. This has been happening to me forever. Whenever I try to thwart, I get bad vibes. I try to thwart something. I make guesses. I throw spaghetti in the wall. The bad guys point at me and say I'm the one, and it's like, what? I'm sitting here and I can't even, no, it's not me, it's you. So whoever says anything like that about me, usually they're the ones who, because they didn't even look into it for 5 seconds. If you look into it for 5 freaking seconds, you can see where I'm coming from, okay? But they never do. There's always lazy. They always go to the laziest person, or what. Nobody wants to look into it. They just buy whatever they say. It's usually somebody in legal too, by the way, or security. It's usually a gay white man, and they usually just, this is how they do it. So anyway, we're going to keep going, but I want to show you the what happened after this. So let's do him doing his cigarettes. Ready? He's smoking here. So I want to make it very clear that during that 1 hour or 50-minute interview, I was mostly worried about a potential mass shooting in Paris. And I said, you need to get to the bottom of this person who keeps playing Paris. When I say that's the one that's like, they're being very like confident or cocky or something. they need to stop playing that. They're getting money to play that. And so I say this to Albrecht, and then there was nothing on Monday. And I said, fantastic. She did something went through, they finally caught the person, or they're just going to stop playing at least Paris. If anything, stop playing that fucking song about a teenager smoking and looking great on the internet, talking about Paris. It's by the Chainsmokers. Why are you playing anything by the Chainsmokers, whether it mentions cigarettes or not? This one mentions cigarettes, and it's by the Chainsmokers. Like, why are you promoting this group? It's a gay band to begin with, and they're just like, it's gay, it's butt fucking pieces of gay Nazi asshole tobacco swamp shit. And now I say tobacco swamp, pedophile, infantophile shit when I say this, okay? You need to get Adam and stop this shit. And I said, and you'll see later. So I all day Monday I'm working, I said, yay, I did it. And guess what? The very first tobacco song that comes up after all this. So we're doing Sunday, I talked to Albrecht. Monday, yay, it's tobacco free. Tuesday, shit. You know, I'm 3 hours into my shift and they start playing which song? They play the Chainsmokers. This to me is like, Kelly Albrecht is nobody to them. They probably, you know, she might be hand-bound and shot and killed and put in a trunk somewhere for all I know. But she's not, she did nothing, or they're coming at me in this one because the world revolves around me, and they're saying, ha, look what we did. You want us to stop playing Chainsmokers? Here it is. And they're still doing that now a little bit. They're not getting away with it as much, though. We'll see. But this is how I'm taking this at this point on July 2nd. So here it goes. This is Paris by the Chainsmokers on July 2nd. So this is very important because they're doing this now. I got them. They played their one cigarette song, fine. But from here on, it's new, and it's not. It's like I had an effect. After that one, I really had an effect. Or like, well, actually, this is still on Tuesday. But now they're not allowed to play some of the songs that I complained about. Maybe Opposites Attract or something. So they compromised, and they put up this thing called "This City" by Sam Fisher. I'd never heard this song before. It's the first time it played on Walmart radio for the 8 months up to this point that I had been working there full time all day. And when I looked him up, this Sam Fisher guy, he's gay. He's a redheaded gay man. It's very relevant to what I'm doing now, the patterns I'm watching. So this is the second song to play, and it's this is what he sings. This is what he sings. It's all about smoke screens and cigarettes. Okay, Sam Fisher, This City. So a new cigarette ad. Great. All right. So I'm having an effect on them. At least now they're having to dig deep into their little coffers or whatever it is to get somebody. This guy, they know, they promote him. They're doing it now. They're promoting nobody right now called Moon Taxi, playing Morocco. Redheaded gay singers that they promote, tobacco swamp singers. He's probably a pedophile, possibly an infantophile, or the infantophiles are promoting this guy. So this is also important because now this song is also promoted by the religion swamp. So the tobacco swamp is taking a little bit of a hit right now. The guy who plays tobacco related songs is now kind of caught a little bit over there at Walmart Radio. So he's going to get some help or some kind of backing from the religion swamp guy, the guy who plays the religious kind of related songs. And this is both a tobacco song and a religion song because they talk about God and they talk about smoking cigarettes. So it's a tobacco religion swamp collaboration, and it's a very common theme and a very common pattern that I've been picking up for a couple years now. Okay, and it's very important right now. So this is You Found Me by The Fray, a tobacco and religion swamp collaboration. They don't play this anymore. I don't know why they're playing it. Well, I know why, because I found a ton of other songs. So this was played on Wednesday, the next day. So I'm off Thursday, I'm off Friday. Oh, in addition, on Wednesday, they don't play Paris by the Chainsmokers. Now they're playing Roses, featuring Roses, R-O-Z-E-S, and they're not singing about, it's still a tobacco ad, but they're singing about smoke a little weed on the couch in the backroom hideaway. Now, I don't count marijuana as anything. Sing about it all you want. I think do it. It's healthier than cigarette. I'd rather any kids by far smoke marijuana than cigarettes. It's way healthier, and it doesn't support this entire, organization of pedophiles and infantophiles. But I also have clips here. This is Wednesday, July 3rd, 3:19 p.m. They're playing this song, but the video for this song, they mentioned smoking a little weed on a couch, but it's all cigarettes in the video. So this guy's smoking a cigarette in the mirror, and the girl, the redheaded, of course, red hair is very gay oriented. They love redheads, but now she's smoking, and that right there is a cigarette carton and a lighter to me. And now she's definitely smoking, and he's smoking. They're both smoking cigarettes. So this is a cigarette ad, even though they're saying smoke a little weed. It's kind of like a compromise, Well, look, we're not advertising cigarettes anymore. It's the chain smokers, and the video is showing them with cigarettes, but we're not advertising cigarettes. It's just been going on for millennia. It's not just today, and it's just not just me. These people, these gay Nazi buttfuckers, know what they've been doing for centuries, millennia. Oh, they play it 3 times. All right, so right now the jingle plays again, and what I showed was every time a song would play, I would add it to this video, and these are all the posts that whole the whole Twitter account has been taken down, so I can't show any of this stuff. It was taken down by currently somebody I'm suing. It's in a lawsuit. It's Twitter, because they're collaborating with Walmart, collaborating with YouTube, collaborating with the people I'm really after is the Family Court Swamp foot soldiers in LA. Those are the people I'm really after. I'm not after Walmart. I just want you guys to get at the truth of what happened during all this. I want to find the people who are behind this stuff. Okay, and it's over there in LA. Trust me. Okay, I want to find the people at Walmart Radio behind this. I mean, they need to get out of there. All right, I'm trying to help Walmart out. I'm trying to help Twitter out. I'm trying to help YouTube out. I'm trying to help everybody out. All right. So right here it lists from Monday, June 10th to Wednesday, July 3rd, the cigarette ads that just played, their times. It's just all in one list. But this is what I was telling you about earlier when I said pay attention to that week, because right here on Sunday, June 30th is when, after this song played, I had the Zoom call, and then Monday there was nothing, and then here are the 4 songs that played. It was none of these songs that I was after. They didn't play The Gambler, they didn't play Under You, they didn't play Mr. Brightside, they didn't play Opposites Attract, Castle on the Hill, Piano Man. They played You Found Me, which was the Religion Swamp. And then for the Chainsmokers, instead of Paris, they played a marijuana one, and they played a brand new one. So I had an effect on it. Also, there was a pattern that I broke up, because they used to play the songs on Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. And then during this time, I was breaking that up. So now they're playing on Sunday, one on Tuesday, and then they had Wednesday. They stopped playing on Monday. So whoever was doing it on one day, because it's not just one person, it's a whole bunch of people there over at Walmart Radio doing these things. And whoever was working Monday, Wednesday, Saturday was playing the cigarette ads. And then they were either changed out of their shift, maybe fired, I hope. But that doesn't solve it. Firing it doesn't solve it, because it probably wasn't even the person pulling the strings for real over at Altria or Marlboro or wherever it is. Okay, this is what I'm after. Not after firing the lowlife who's just whatever. We need to go up higher than that. All right. If you find the person who's playing the cigarette ad, you're finding the source of money that's behind some more Walmart shootings. They're desperate right now. You need to find that person tonight, and that will stop the shootings.
I don't understand, and if you could put it together for me, what is the correlation between the shootings and big tobacco? Okay,
so the graphics for this says this is a Zoom call. This is Sunday, June 30th, 2024, starting at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. I alluded to it earlier. It says Kelly Albrecht, KELLIALBRECHT, Senior Threat Manager, Global Security and Investigations Threat Management, phone 479-601-1105, Walmart Global Security and Investigations in Bentonville. Okay, that's what that says. And I'm on the Zoom call with her, not by me. That was told by my immediate manager, Kathleen? Oh man, her last name was Young. Come on, I can't believe I don't remember her name. I love this girl. I had immediate managers. Everybody there was fine. I was fired by headquarters. I wasn't fired by anybody at my Walmart. Walmart knows Walmart knows how to hire and train and have managers and pick the right people to be managers. It's just they know how to do shit. Okay, and they just I get along great with it's just and even our store director was fantastic, but he was given a load of shit, of course, on me and just had to fire me with we'll see how this goes. Okay, so this was a very tough question for me to answer. How do you connect those two? Now I know I sound crazy, and I know that it doesn't matter. I just need to get it out no matter how crazy I sound. I have to tell her, I'm safe. I'm not a threat. I just have these. I can't say I just have these vibes. But I was trying to explain to her that I've been doing this a very long time, and I know that it's just one of the things I was trying to convince her of was it takes such a little amount of effort to look into this. What is the big fucking ass deal to go to Walmart radio and say, why are you guys playing the song Paris by the Chainsmokers? Why is that in this list? It's not appropriate. That's all. Even if you just do that much, without even going into the threat of the violence and everything like that, what is the big downside to doing that? It takes 2 seconds. No, I'll tell you what the big downside is. It's like the tip of the iceberg. There's this huge thing backing it up, making sure that song is playing. So you go and you just ask the question, and maybe you find you're dead or you're fired or whatever. I mean, it's not. It seems like it would be an easy thing to do, and I was making that point right now. I was just trying to convince her to look into this because and look into the actual video. I was just trying to get her attention, but she didn't watch the video. They never do. They just go by what a gay Nazi butt fucking piece of shit tells them. Because you better believe that when they're doing this stuff, it isn't just offhand, and it's not like they haven't been doing this for millennia, so they know how to handle it once they start to get exposed. It's so well layered and so well protected. I mean, look at this, it's a year and a half later and they're still playing cigarette songs. They're still playing at least Paula Abdul, if not Opposites Attract. Which one are they still playing that they played back then? They're playing, well, we'll go into this later. I mean, it's incredible that they're still playing cigarette songs. Okay. So after I was fired, I said I need to answer that question in a video, because it's just, and even the video is a little bit complicated, but it's spaghetti against the wall, and it's all kind of these connections I was making, trying to establish a pattern. And here it goes. This is the pattern I'm trying to establish. It says we're gonna start playing some more cigarette ads. So here's what's displaying on the screen. The lyrics for San Bernardino, Berdoo, San Bernardino Sunburn, and San Bernardino is a short name for San Bernardino, where this group Eagles of Death Metal comes from. Eagles of Death Metal come from San Bernardino, and this is called San Bernardino Sunburn. They're two redheaded. They're a duo, and they have a cigarette ad out. Okay, so they're talking about pregnant girls gay men can't stand pregnant women. It drives them crazy. They're trying to pretend like they're not gay. I filled the bag with cigarettes and apple wine. So it's a cigarette song. And then the next text panel says, okay, it says, that was the cigarette ad called San Bernardino Sunburn by the Eagles of Death Metal, EODM. The music was lifted from Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. So what you're hearing right now in the background is Norman Greenbaum, Spirit in the Sky, and part of their video with the guys dancing in the background from April of 1970. That's what you're hearing, and that's the music you're going to hear in the background throughout this entire video, is Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum. So the next panel, which is what we're on right now, shows their home screen. It shows Jesse Hughes' Twitter homepage, EODM official, and they're Christmas themed. And it says, it is common for closeted gay musicians like Jesse Hughes and John Ohm. Like, In French, it's that means man, John Mann, who had EODM to lift music from other artists. So Jesse Hughes is photographed holding a guitar like an assault rifle, like a gun, and John is on a sofa in sort of gay short shorts and gay skates and gay. He's looking very gay there because he is gay, but he's surrounded by with the Santa hat on, surrounded by gifts, looking very gay because he is gay. Both of them are gay. I mean, they're not openly gay. They're just gay because I know because I mean, I have an impeccable gaydar, by the way, so take it or leave it, but they're both gay. Alex Paul and Drew Taggart, who run another tobacco-sponsored band called the Chainsmokers, are also closeted gay musicians who started out by lifting music from other artists. So on the left is the Wikipedia page for the Chainsmokers, and it says the Chainsmokers are an American electronic DJ and production duo consisting of Alex Paul, and Andrew Drew Taggart. They started out by releasing remixes of songs by indie artists. So this is just common. I mean, if you have an impeccable gaydar, you could spot patterns like this. Other similarities between EODM and the Chainsmokers, one similarity is Jesse Hughes, John Alex Paul, and Drew Taggart are all made-up gay names that were given to them by their sugar daddy, major gay Nazi asshole tobacco and religion swamp buttfucker, Representative Adam Schiff. There we go, throwing spaghetti against the wall, but I'm pretty sure I'm close to right on this one. 2, another similarity. All 4 closeted gay men are redheads who have been putting their penises up the smelly butthole of Representative Adam Schiff, also a redhead, on the regular for over a decade now. So I don't know if Representative Adam Schiff, he's Jewish, but I don't know if he's a natural redhead, but a lot of gay men, especially in Congress, will color their hair red so that they're redheads that way. I mean, I'm just looking at pictures of them that I found on the internet, and he's a redhead on the internet, but I don't know if he's a natural redhead. I don't think so. 3A. I don't know why I call it 3A, but let's just go with it. Another similarity, songs from these two bands that feature the name of a city in the title have buttfucker significance. For example, the song Silver Lake by EODM is a very gay area of Los Angeles in Representative Adam Schiff's congressional district, where band members have gay orgies with Schiff. Where can I go? Okay, we'll just go here. And on the left, it shows a set list that they had on November 13th, 2015. Eagles of Death Metal set list at Le Bataclan in Paris, France. And it shows Silver Lake is number 6 on their list. It's one of their songs. By the way, the set list shown on the left is from EODM's performance, Eagles of Death Metal's performance at Le Bataclan in Paris on November 13th, 2015, which was interrupted by shooters who were supposedly, quote-unquote, Islamic extremists, before Eagles of Death Metal could sing their main moneymaker, the cigarette ad called San Bernardino Sunburn. So they sang Silver Lake, they sang Save a Prayer, Whore Hopping, and Kiss the Devil, and the last song was probably like the big moneymaker and the one that they close everything with is San Bernardino Sunburn. That's their big thing. The last songs on Eagle of Death Metal's planned set list at Le Bataclan are also the last songs on Eagles of Death Metal's debut album called Peace, Love, and Death Metal, and exposes the band's origin as a religion and tobacco swamp created band, with Kiss the Devil and San Bernardino Sunburn respectively. Kiss the Devil, there's a lot of, this is a common theme that keeps surfacing now, is religion and tobacco swamp coming together now. Not just the tobacco swamp alone, or it used to be tobacco with pharmaceutical swamp getting together for mass shootings, and now it just seems like the religion swamp has now risen more, and now it goes down. The swamps go up and down, and now they're all imploding and trying to make collaborations because they can't do anything on their own anymore. They can't afford to. So the third song, Whore Hoppin', exposes EDOM's gayness. Parentheses, gay men tend to overuse the terms bitch and whore, as well as more references to both their religion and tobacco swamp origins, with frequent mentions of devil and guns, respectively. So this is whore hopping. I got the night, and I've got my gun. I can't lose because I'm the devil's favorite son. We've got the desert, got the sand, and our guns. We love the whore hopping, and that ain't no lie. These are lyrics from whore hopping. I sped it up, but whatever. 3B instead of 4, I guess, is another similarity. Here's another similarity between San Bernardino Sunburn and the Chainsmokers, or at least just a pattern. Another city featured in a song title by Eagles of Death Metal, San Bernardino, is a hotbed of butt fuckery in Southern California, where lucrative Social Security and unemployment scams are run by the tobacco swamp. Headed by Chief Tobacco Swamp buttfucker in Congress, Representative Adam Schiff, who is, by the way, a senator now. I made this in 2024, just ahead of the election. I think Trump wanted him in there. Keep your enemies closest. But if you've ever been in California and received unemployment, and you received the checks in the mail, or any kind of correspondence with unemployment in the mail, it all comes from San Bernardino. It's where, and that's for the entire, I believe that's for the entire state. It's not just Southern California. So then that's where all the fraud goes. And I believe it's probably, I mean, you would guess, the biggest fraud in the whole country. So that's what they're protecting over there. Due to many mistakes made by desperately imploding religion tobacco swamp buttfuckers during their Paris attack in 2015, top-notch undercover FBI agents Syed Rizwan Farouk and Tashfeen Malik were able to close in on Representative Adam Schiff and all his scams running out of San Bernardino that helped to fund the Paris attack. Unfortunately, at the top there's a graphic that shows the Wikipedia page for the 2015 San Bernardino attack, mentioning them. Unfortunately for Farouk and Malik, they trusted major gay Nazi swamp buttfucker James Comey, head of the FBI at the time, and paid for that mistake with their lives, as Representative Adam Schiff and his tobacco swamp cronies carried out the San Bernardino mass shooting on December 2nd, 2015, not 3 weeks after they carried out the Paris shooting, and gunned down these two heroes, then successfully blamed the shooting on them, chalking the incident up to yet more quote-unquote Islamic extremism. All right, now, he was the first person interviewed after that shooting, was Representative Adam Schiff, and Comey had this whole thing, remember, with the locked phone, and they were trying to get at they couldn't get at the locked phone of these two. Well, the reason that was so important to keep that undercover is because the locked phone had the truth about what happened. So Comey pretended like it was locked when he was just trying to get the phone back from whoever had it, and to make sure that the truth did not come out about that. Remember that whole incident? Oh, it's a locked phone, and they went to the gay head of the Apple, whatever that guy's name is, and it's all related butt fuckery. 3C. We're back to Paris and the song Paris by the Chainsmokers. The song Paris, like Silver Lake, the song Paris, the flagship cigarette ad by the Chainsmokers, that's their number one song, was released in January of 2017, either as a result of Paris being chosen to host the 2024 Summer Olympics, which was officially announced a few months later in September of 2017, or to encourage Paris to be chosen. It was like, I think the decisions were coming down. I think they had already chosen Paris. They just needed to officially announce it. But this whole song it's not a coincidence. It's all related to that shit. These guys planned far in advance. And here's the song. The success of Elton John's tribute to Princess Diana, Candle in the Wind, a record 33 million copies sold, could have been the primary motive for the tobacco religion swamp buttfuckers who murdered Diana and her Islamic boyfriend Dodi Fayed in Paris in 1997. In Diana's case, while she was being transported to the hospital, which is how most victims of swamp-created violence are killed. It could have been a motive ahead of time, or it could have been a happy accident. A lot of these violent buttfucker violence things always have several purposes in mind, and this could have been like afterwards they went, whoa, we didn't know that it could have this kind of an effect too. But the fact that Elton John did this and he's also gay, it's kind of related. It feels like they knew ahead of time and were going to try something like this, like a tribute to Diana. They're constantly planning shit like this for celebrities all the time. How much money can this bring in? Whatever. I mean, they recently murdered. It's amazing. Like, I'll go through the people that they murdered just to promote a tiny little thing. But like even the guy from the Foo Fighters, what was his name? The drummer was murdered to promote the song "Oh Under You," right? And that's what I'm proposing here at least. Swamp buttfuckers murdering musicians and or their fans just to promote a cigarette ad is a pattern I'm trying to break ahead of the Paris Olympics, where the cigarette ad Paris may have been slated to be a tribute song to some kind of mass violence at the Paris Olympics as early as the song's release in 2017. That wouldn't surprise me. So now I'm trying to establish a pattern. In 2015, there was the Paris shooting to promote Eagles of Death Metal, their whole band, and their cigarette ad, San Bernardino Sunburn, and their religious swamp shit, religious and tobacco swamp shit. 2017, the Las Vegas shooting to promote Jason Aldean, who is still, I think, the number one cigarette advertiser in country music at the time. We're going to go over that in a minute. And in 2022, Foo Fighters drummer Taylor Hawkins murdered to promote cigarette ad Under You. And in 2024, Paris Olympics violence to promote cigarette ad Paris ? I mean, they're gay Nazi buttfuckers are killing machines. They'll murder somebody for less than this. Okay, it doesn't faze them. And I kept it going for a while to underscore the importance. This is the whole thing. This is the answer to her question. And you're going, that's not you shoot all the holes in it you want. Now, balance this, what I have, with what I said before. The amount of effort it would take to just figure out who keeps playing Paris and to stop that, or to figure out if they're receiving money under the table or not. Not just figure out who programs that. Just do that much, and then that's all. Was it really that difficult? Like, it required this whole thing? Is it really the end of the world? So over the next minute, I start playing all the cigarette ads that Jason Aldean had done starting in 2005. This is Hicktown. Let me do that one again. Let me turn on the light, actually. Okay, so now for the next minute or two, I just start playing very in high speed, because it takes a long time if it's in regular speed, but it's all the cigarette ads and tobacco songs by Jason Aldean, starting with Hicktown in 2005. Let's do this. That whole song was called Back in This Cigarette. It started with the ashtray full of Lucky Strikes, 2007. That's Don't Give Up on Me, 2009. These are all Jason Aldean. Marlboro, man. Jack and Jim were a few good men. Smoke rolling out the window. Smoke rolling out the window. Smoke rolling out the window. So that's Dirt Road Anthem, 2011. That one mentioned Marlboro specifically. I think he has more Marlboro mentions than any other. Oh, except Blake Shelton. I think they're tied. They both mention a lot of Marlboros. I Ain't Ready to Quit, 2011. By the way, Jason Aldean is one of my favorite. I mean, he did Flyover States. He did. I mean, the art. There's no doubt he's a great artist, and all these, they just. And he smokes, and I think he smokes personally. So it's not like he's. Anyway, so I'm not blaming him. And you need to really focus on the people behind this stuff, and it's not just a small thing. It's not a small deal. I mean, the murders they've been doing and forever. Okay, here goes. So, I'm just reminding you of the Foo Fighters because I'm going through the list. There was Eagles of Death Metal, Jason Aldean, Foo Fighters, and their songs, Under You. Okay, and it says, now here's a panel. In addition to Jewish religion swamp leader, Representative Adam Schiff, he's now senator, but he's Jewish, at least two other politically powerful tobacco/religion swamp buttfuckers were involved in the Paris, San Bernardino, and Las Vegas shootings and should be watched for any planned attacks at the Paris Olympics, which will most likely be blamed on Islamic extremists. Minnesota Muslim Attorney General Keith Ellison, and Mormon Senator Mitt Romney from Utah. I think they were both at the Olympics. Actually, I didn't know they were going. I just said watch out, and then I read in news later that they're there. So I'm glad I said that because why are they there? Why is Mitt Romney there? And he's getting a lot of attention. You know, like screw that. I hope. Okay. I get some of this information from when I was a truck driver in Salt Lake City, by the way. I'd have relations with all this stuff, relationships. I was in Minnesota when I was trucking there too, and I noticed you guys. I mean, I'm throwing spaghetti against the wall, but I have a backstory behind all of this shit. I mean, I was actually arrested right out of Representative Adam Schiff's district or near it at the time. I didn't even realize this until recently. All that time I was in Burbank. I was singing about the Burbank and all that, where I was living in my car for a year or two, whatever it was. That was all Representative Adam Schiff's district before he became senator. Because I am the Forrest Gump of gay Nazi buttfucker hunters. And I've been through Minnesota, not just been. I spent the whole summer there, and where I determined that every corner gas station that had illegal cigarette advertising at the point of sale was run by a Muslim person at the gas station. So that's where we have defense contractor swamp, religion swamp, and tobacco swamp, all coming together in one place. That was like who ran 9/11 was these three swamps together. They used Muslims Muslims are fantastic. They're not violent. They're not any of this shit. The people behind this shit, including 9/11, are white, gay, Nazi, butt-fucking pieces of, shit, swamp shit. Okay? Like Tim Waltz and Dickless Cheney, and these are the people we're after, not the Somalians. What the fuck? Anyway, okay, so let's do this. I did that rant. This is going to take a long time. I don't care. Anyway, and also I was a truck driver for for 6 months at least out of Salt Lake City, where Mitt Romney is based and the Mormon stuff going on there. And I also believe that that he's in charge of a lot of illegal transportation of tobacco products coming up from Mexico all the way through this triangle. I figured out that we had Denver. I posted all this stuff, whatever, just throwing spaghetti against the wall. But trust me, a lot of this stuff isn't just random. There's some truth to this. With allegiances to the religion swamp, Keith Ellison became the first Muslim congressperson in 2007. His main duties for the tobacco swamp include promoting smoking in the usually anti-smoking Muslim community, recruiting the real shooters in tobacco swamp-sponsored mass shootings, and supporting the tobacco swamp buttfucker and upper management at Target, which is headquartered in Minneapolis, who is responsible for streaming cigarette ads into Target stores, and by extension supporting the tobacco swamp buttfucker doing the same thing at Walmart Radio. So I was always doing this. I was constantly outing the cigarette songs when I worked at Target for 2 years or whatever that was. So it's all the same. Closeted gay Mormon religion swamp leader Senator Mitt Romney took a deep dive into the tobacco swamp after his failed run for president in 2012 caused the religion swamp to lose power and implode. Senator Mitt Romney runs illegal trafficking of banned tobacco products across the U.S. with the help of C.R. England and other major trucking companies based in Salt Lake City, Utah. So I worked for Pride, which was a spin-off of C.R. England. They were right down the street from us. He also gets it up his anus on the regular by tobacco swamp band leader and cigarette ad Mr. Brightside singer Brandon Flowers. It's a made-up gay name of the Salt Lake City-based The Killers. So there's a connection there too. But they're gay, and Brandon Flowers is a made-up gay name. I could see C.R. England would always have a Walmart. I think C.R. England delivered illegal tobacco products or whatever it is to Walmart, because the C.R. England had a contract with Walmart, but I always suspected them when I would see them at the Walmart backing in instead of a Walmart truck. Like Walmart has their own fleet of trucks, and that, Walmart truck, Walmart trailer. But a lot of times they will, use a third party. They'll source out some work to other companies. Not other companies. I think it was mostly C.R. England. So C.R. England. Whenever I saw a C.R. England truck and a Walmart trailer, I said, well, there goes a load of tobacco shit that probably came up from Mexico, like illegal. Something's going on there. And I triangulated it. I said it was between Las Vegas and Salt Lake City and Denver, and they came right up from Mexico through Las Vegas. And I had the whole route. And there was this one checkpoint where the guy was smoking, where I said, oh, well, that guy, like when you see that, I said, that guy's letting the C.R. England trucks with the illegal products go through, for sure. Up on highway, 395? It runs up behind, it's like Bishop, that whole thing, whatever. Okay, guys, if it's not just pulling stuff out of my ass, I was reporting this the whole time on Twitter for, years. Jesse Hughes of Eagles of Death Metal is a guns rights activist and has stated the shooting in Paris could have been avoided if more people owned more guns. And there he is, holding a guitar like a gun. I disagree. To stop mass shootings, defund the mass shooters. In other words, find and stop the tobacco swamp buttfucker and upper management at Walmart who is illegally advertising Marlboro cigarettes to kids, both on air and in print. And on the left is illegal Marlboro ads at Walmart stores in 40 states. I think it's like 88 stores I took pictures in. From May 13, 2020 to March 5th, 2021. I actually started long before that and went a little bit after that, I think. No, I started before that and also did Dollar General and did Walgreens and predicted Walgreens would be going out of business. But I didn't predict, I know that sounds funny that Target doesn't sell cigarettes and Walmart does, and I yet still predicted that Walmart, from working at both places, I still predicted that Walmart would do fine when we started doing the trade, when we started taking down the 16th Amendment, and Target would tank. Because there's other factors that went into that. And because Walmart, they don't base their entire, corporate structure around selling cigarettes the way Target did. Walmart's like, yeah, okay, we can't sell cigarettes anymore, whatever. They don't care because they have so much other stuff and so much good stuff going on, and they don't have, it's not a main thing. The only buttfuckers they have there are isolated to this radio stuff, and I'm trying to help them isolate and get rid of these people. All right, let's go, babies. Let's take a look at the Walmart ads now. In the next, it's not even a minute, I zip through all the pictures I've taken. Each picture that flies through has a picture of the illegal Marlboro's advertising at point of sale. It's usually in the self-checkout or near the checkout. There's a lot of kids in these places, and they're huge signs. Marlboro, mostly Marlboro. They have other signs. And it's illegal because as of 2009, every sign that says any sign that has an advertising like a Marlboro, 20% of it has to have a warning sticker on it. And there's no exceptions for these especially. 20% of the sign has to be covered with a warning label, and these have 0 warning labels on them. They don't even have a tiny one in the corner. Okay? And they're lit and they're huge. So they are illegal as of 2009. Unlawful and probably illegal. I mean, there's probably criminal shit going on there. So each picture has that, and then it has the actual CFR, the actual Code of Federal Regulation from the tobacco family, from the families, what is it? Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act of 2009. It has the actual Code of Federal Regulation number there, and I didn't highlight it in red. I should have highlighted the part that said the advertising has to have 20%, has to be covered, but 20% of it has to be covered with a warning label. So, and in the bottom left or right corner says the store, which is Walmart, and I also did this with Dollar General and Walgreens. That's why I have the store there, but it was Walmart and the city it was in. Now, some of these cities have many Walmarts, but you could tell from the picture, you know, if you live there, you can really identify which Walmart it is probably. So it zips by like this, and here it goes. And the music speeds up.
Hello, it is Thursday, May 28, 2020. I'm at the Walmart in Little Rock, Arkansas. And this is the self-checkout area. And this is Marlboro ad in the self-checkout area. Okay, that's all.
So some of the Marlboro ads were so egregious that I just filmed them. And this one I filmed, I didn't do it in Arkansas on purpose. I didn't even know Walmart was headquartered in Arkansas at the time. Seriously, this was May 28, 2020. I hadn't worked at Walmart yet up until that point. And then I also didn't stand around and wait for a kid to go by. In fact, I had trouble. People don't like you're filming their kids. So in this case, I'm really trying to avoid the kid. And then later on, when I was making this movie, I said, holy shit. I mean, I didn't do this on purpose, but it's a black mother and a cute little black girl, but I don't show their faces, of course. It's just their legs walking by. But it's a good metaphor. I mean, come on. This is like, and here, right here in the picture, I didn't do this on purpose either, but there's menthol, which is what they target the little black kids with. The menthol cigarettes advertised huge. There's some other, anyway, it did not do this on purpose at all. It just turned out that way. So I added this video into this clip as a short break. But here we go. It's going to go fast again. Ready? Oh, okay, wait. Okay. So, on the right, this is toward the end. This was Walmart in Saline, Michigan. It says 21 CFR 1143.3. That's the Code of Federal Regulations. And I think it was it's 2.1. I think it's, no, Code of Federal Regulations 2-1. It must occupy at least 20% of the area of, and it's all cut off, but it's there. Go look it up. And they also broke another, like it has to appear in 12-point font size. I mean, this has to be on the carton, but it also, see this little, they do have the advertising here. Let me see in that video. Oh, you see in the video here? See the little Marlboro? That is a little warning label. It has to occupy 20%, which is this big. That's way too small. So they just didn't bother to change their advertisements after this law came out. These are advertisements that have been up since before 2009. Very expensive. It would have cost a lot of money, so the tobacco industry just paid somebody under the table at Walmart. Okay, and the way these things work, it's a gay Nazi buttfucker, and what's going to happen is they get Walmart coming and going. So they're taking advantage of Walmart here by peddling cigarettes illegally for 20 years, whatever it is, and then and they are Walmart employees doing this on purpose, and then once the shit hits the fan, this guy becomes he becomes a whistleblower against Walmart, and then makes the money, billions of dollars now on the big class action lawsuit that's going to be coming up. I could never be able to do this class action because they control the courts. The gay Nazi buttfuckers control the courts. Don't panic, anybody. We're going to be working on this, and it's going to be fine after the 16th Amendment comes down. They start running out of money. Logic will eventually take over. Wiser minds will take over, and we'll start getting the justice system and legal system and the judicial branch back to where it's supposed to be. Right now it's just butt fucking court clerks run everything. Even it doesn't matter how clean the judge is or not or whatever, they just can't. They don't do shit, and they're really crippled right now just because of all the money going into this. So in the future, not with Trump. Trump's going to block this, or he already has. He's made deals and everything. He's taken this information and done some shit with it, I'm sure. This is very valuable information I'm giving out here. It's like, take it here. It's strict liability. It's right there. I mean, in 2 seconds. And then you say, well, who's harmed by it? Well, anybody who can prove that they brought their kids to Walmart at any time in the last 20 years, and then the kid now smokes. That's all. That's the only. And then you have a whole, you set up a whole money fund that says when that kid develops cancer later, here's the fund that's going to pay for their whatever. I mean, whatever it is, you can't, and also you don't even have to. It doesn't matter because it's a strict liability law. You're not supposed to advertise like this. So just figure it out where it goes. But that's in a perfect world. That's how the money gets spread out, is to the kids who are actually affected by this. But that's not where it goes. It's going to be a $1 billion, $10 billion settlement, quote unquote. It's gay Nazi buttfuckers on both sides, and legal at Walmart and legal here in the government, whatever it is. And all that money gets funneled to gay Nazi buttfuckers somewhere, like made up victims. So the victims never get that money. This is repeated in history for millennia. Like just the other day I said, Walmart, some buttfuckers at Walmart imported a bunch of faulty helmets at the last minute from China under the tariff deadline, and they're cheap and whatever, and they're going to try to peddle it. Kids falling on ice and give brain tumors to people. They have a fear. Peddle it all, and then once the helmets later show out to be faulty and it's the fault of Walmart, the same people who imported it and made a shitload of money off of it are now going to be the whistleblowers, and then we have another multi-billion-dollar lawsuit against Walmart. So they get them coming and going, and who suffers from this? Walmart and everybody else. Okay, this is at every company in the United States, every company across the world. This is how, and you're going to be amazed once we drain the gay Nazi, do a gay Nazi buttfucker purging. This is the year for it. Finally, it's going to happen more and more, and they're starting to purge at a lot of companies right now. I could see it in the stocks. But this is what's going on right now. You're saying, what is this? Oh, you should go do a lot. You should do this. No, I'm not. Trump isn't in charge of this. I just give him all this information. He's got it. Don't worry. Trump's on top of it. Didn't he just recently settle something with Walmart or with Google or something? It has to do with this shit. Oh, there goes my cat.
Well, hello there.
Okay, so in the summer of 2020, I didn't quit trucking. I was kind of fired from trucking, but I was ready to stop after 8 years anyway. It had to do with a lawsuit that everybody should look up that was challenging the truck 55 mile an hour speed limit in California. Is very dangerous. It's more buttfucker shit. It's more, speed trap, buttfucker run, ticket against out-of-state truckers scam going on in California. It's all solid. Everything I've filed has been solid. It's just not going to get anywhere while the buttfuckers run the court system. So I was fired from that job after I refused to pay the ticket until my the stuff went through the court system. Like it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go down the hall and challenge this at the local traffic court. This was a major constitutional challenge filed in federal court against that whole thing, and it's solid factually. Just go look it up. But and I needed to be fired anyway because it was time, and my boot. Never mind. I'm gonna cut that out. So, right during this time was also the COVID stuff. So I said, okay, I'm receiving unemployment for like a month or two here before I have to start work. and just was ahead of the election, which I was certain Trump was going to win in a landslide, right? I mean, he did win it in a landslide. He just had to throw it out the window because he wasn't ready to take down the 16th Amendment. But I had my cat with me. I went in my car this time across the country now to Walmarts everywhere, challenging the face mask. So I had already been to many Walmarts before, and now I just made absolutely certain that during this summer I hit the Walmarts that I didn't have pictures of. Okay, so I hit all those Walmarts across the whole country. I went north, came around, boom, 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 boom. So when you see the Walmarts, I just hit all the Walmarts that I hadn't hit as a truck driver, but across the whole country, so that I could file the same anti-face mask, because Walmart was also requiring face masks. Okay, and this was regardless of whether the state or the city required it. So this is another thing where Walmart and also Comcast, there are all these people who are doing stuff outside of the law. They made their own rule that you had to do this shit. They are all they're all going to be exposed when all this shit hits the fan. How bad the face masks are for people, how they were stealing your DNA, and how bad all those COVID tests sticking them up your nose. They weren't doing shit. And the vaccines especially. All that shit is going to be just like the helmets. It's going to be just like the cigarette advertising. It's going to be just like this. They made a shitload of money off of crap product, and now they're going to turn around. And now Trump he's very smart. He knew they were doing this, so he said nobody can sue Pfizer for 10 years because it's going to take 10 years to figure out that the vaccines was actually gender. They were actually just testing for gender transitioning drugs. That's all that was. It was a massive pharmaceutical drug testing program. There was no vaccine, and if it was targeting specific people. Like they knew, for instance, the first one came to me, but by the time I was taking the second one, they know who I am, and they could put whatever they want in the vaccine, whatever that was. The second shot I got, that's why it put me on my ass. So they probably gave me cancer, or tried to give me cancer, or tried to kill me with that second shot. Because they knew who you are. This was the whole purpose of that was. The whole purpose of making it mandatory like this was you couldn't be anonymous. And that was everything. So they killed people, or they gave people this, or they tested, or they didn't give a fuck. But they really mostly wanted kids and babies to test them. They also want to suck little baby dicks probably. I don't know where. But, yeah, shit. So anyway, this is what me going across the country. I was in Wyoming. I was winding up. This was one of the few last stops. And this is my cat.
I think I gotta go now, so you're gonna have to get up. Happy Monday, November 2nd, 2020, everybody. I just got to leaving FedEx office in Cheyenne, and we're gonna go run and mail this thing at the post office, and we're out of here. We gotta get going. All right, Cat. Everything's gonna be okay, everybody. Obviously, Cat knows that. All right, talk to you later. Big later, bye.
So this is what I was filing. It was the same lawsuit. I filed it in every state in the country, anti-face mask stuff. And this one is another problem, as I'm trying to reform the whole court system for especially access to pro se litigants. I'm going to go through this later, but one of the things is they make you mail shit in instead of just sending things by email. It's very expensive. They do it on purpose. They do it for services that way. At the state level, any government entity that is being sued must have an email where they can receive service that way, because this shit, I've been trying to serve something on the LAPD now for 3 or 4 months. They won't do it. And it's just the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. It should have been done 20 years ago, but it's the butt fuckers. It'll all be done later. I'm going to go through this later on all my court stuff and a court filing, in a court kind of video. This is what I was mailing because the gay Nazi butt-fucking court clerks running the U.S. District Court for the District of Wyoming, all of the districts across the country, do not allow easy online access to the court for pro se litigants, meaning litigants like me without an attorney who typically cannot afford printing and mailing costs. That was very expensive for me to do all that. And service and all this crap. But, this one I didn't have to. It's a constitutional challenge. I didn't have to serve. But I have a million lawsuits like this, not a million, like 80 or something, and then the appeals and they were rejected. So we're going to get there. Not right now. 16th Amendment, I've got other stuff. We need to survive this year first. I think this is a very exciting year, but this will come out the next 10 years or whatever is my life for until I die. So it's going to be fun. And then So that's what I was doing there, and I just showed that because it was funny. It was my cat, and I showed the rest of the Walmarts. Okay, it's been a while since I've checked, but fast forward to July 5th, 2024, and sure enough, so Gainesville has 3 Walmarts. One of them I worked at on 23rd. There's one on 13th, and then there's one on 42nd or 43rd Street. The one that's closest to the university is the only one that sells cigarettes, of course, because it targets the college kids. So I don't work there. I don't think I had a choice. I needed to get a job anywhere, but I prefer not to work at a Walmart or anywhere that sells cigarettes, because I won't sell a cigarette to anybody. I don't care. I'll go homeless. I am not going to sell a pack of cigarettes to anybody. So that means I can't work at the Circle K. And you would think somebody like me, who was homeless and all this stuff forever and living in this and that, wouldn't be so picky. But that's the only one thing I won't do, because it'll might as well just rot my soul. I will absolutely not sell cigarettes. Fucking go suck a dick. But fuckers. Oh, where is this? Let's do this. Is this it? Here we go.
Quit being a faggot and suck that dick.
Now, of course, I never said that. Now I'm lost. Where was I? How do I get back to where I was? I was here. Here I am. Okay. It's been a while since I checked, but fast forward to July 5th. Now remember, I wasn't working on the 4th, and I wasn't working on the 5th. So I took my little bicycle and went down to check that Walmart. And sure enough, I wanted to see if they had illegal cigarette ads down there, if they were selling and sure enough.
Hello, happy Friday. July 5th, 2024. I'm at the Walmart on 43rd Street in Gainesville, Florida. There's still some.
So across the bottom it says 42nd Street. Oh, I said 43rd Street in the video, but it is really 42nd Street. That's all. But this is the Walmart. It's the only Walmart I hadn't checked. I mean, I'm across the whole country. I do this, I do that, and I never checked after I did that. This was after I had been around. There's all sorts of stuff. I was way later. That stuff happened in 2020 and 2021. So this is like 3 years later. But yeah, Walmart. Now, the good news is I was just there last Saturday. I don't go to that one very often. It's closer to my daughter, and we just happened to be there. And I haven't been there since I think this. Maybe I have. Yeah, I've been there before a few times. But all this is gone, and they now put it all into one store. It's not a store within a store, but you have to go outside of Walmart and come into another door that it's a whole different area that sells liquor and cigarettes. And I said, beautiful, thank you. This is what you should have been doing 10 years ago, right? But you couldn't, because they're being paid a shitload of money to do these illegal Marlboro ads. Okay, this isn't an accident, people. Somebody made a lot of money, and they're going to keep making money. Well, Trump's in charge now, so it's going to be okay, but you know, if this happened 10 years ago and you tried to sue, or they sued, or all this money would have gone right back to the buttfuckers, and it just goes on. And that's just Walmart. Multiply that by thousands, hundreds of thousands of businesses across the country, and this is how they're all run. Like, they're do okay because they're not quite as infested the way like Target, completely infested. And I'm seeing kind of similar things right now at Lowe's. I hate saying this, but I'm seeing similarities between Lowe's and Target. I really am. It's not like Walmart at all, you know, but whatever. Okay, onward.
Cigarettes, and they're advertising them illegally here in Gainesville, so, okay, bye. Kids walking in front of your neighborhood. Bye.
Sorry, that's very fast, but now it's like the list I had earlier of the tobacco songs, except now it's illegal Marlboro ads at Walmart stores. Now this isn't, the other one was on air illegal ads. Okay, now I'm getting them with the point of sale. Target, I mean, Walmart, I've got them up the gazoo. I've got them, you know, come on. Anybody wants to sue them, I've got all this stuff. And then you could just, in Discovery, get tons more. But here it is right here. All you need is what I have, and you have enough to sue for illegal Marlboro ads at Walmart stores in 40 states. And that's only May 13th, 2020 to March 5th, 2021. And it lists, I think it's 88 of them. It's got the date I was there and the city that I just showed. Oops, now it goes through quickly here. I had to do this because I only had 2 minutes or 5 minutes or something to post.
Bye.
Okay. 88 Walmart stores in 40 states and the District of Columbia. Massachusetts, New York, and South Dakota don't allow cigarette sales in Walmart stores because you can't sell cigarettes at the same place as you're selling pharmaceuticals. I couldn't get to Alaska, Hawaii, Indiana, Montana, South Carolina, Vermont, and Wisconsin for actual pictures, but I know from experience that Walmart stores in at least Indiana, Montana, Wisconsin, and Vermont have illegal Marlboro ads just from trucking there. I didn't take pictures until recently. Reasonable penalties for Walmart's flagrant violations of the Family Smoking Prevention and Tobacco Control Act of 2009 ever since it was enacted. So Walmart had these signs up long before that. I'm pretty sure you could prove that. This wasn't recent. Because if they had done it recently, they would have had the correct labeling, first of all. But this is such a joke. There is no way. This is such a bottom dollar. You could multiply this by 1,000 probably, but $10,000 a year per store is nothing. It should be maybe 100,000, maybe even 1 million per year per store for 15 years times 5,000 U.S. stores equals 750 million, when it should probably be 7.5 billion. 75 billion? No. Anyway, it should be something closer in the billions. 7.5 billion. Way more than that, probably. I mean, whatever the settlement is, that's a long ass time to be peddling cigarettes to kids like that so flagrantly. And you say, well, it was just a little thing here and that doesn't prevent them or whatever. It's not the point. The point is, you just need to clear out, you need to make it very expensive for butt fuckers to keep doing what they're doing. Okay? Go get them, crowdsourcing rules, peeps. Yeah, that's not gonna, it's got to take somebody like Trump to make a deal with Trump as the government to make it, because this is, you could bring this action as a civil, like you could bring a civil cause of action against this, but come on, it's going to have to be the government and non-slimy people, not like the people who did the tobacco masturbating, the tobacco master settlement. That was a joke. All right, let's go. And don't get me started on the penalties for flagrant violations of rules on cigarette advertising over the airwaves at Walmart Radio, which have been occurring for 3 times as long and for which the base penalties are 10 times higher. I just made that up. I don't think it's been going on 3 times as long. I don't know when Walmart Radio came up. And they've probably been, and I'm just guessing, I'm throwing spaghetti against the wall, but I think they are like much higher, the penalties for over the air versus in print. Like in print is fine, but when you do it over the air and it's getting into people's subconscious, into kids and babies and everything, and it's millions of people a day and workers and everything, yeah, this is going to be 10 times higher for that shit.
The person that you believe is paying.
Okay, so we're back to the beginning here with when she's saying, I'm going to have to slow this down, guys. We'll do it again. So I'm answering this question for her. I sped it up too much, but remember that question? This was the answer to it. It says, Sunday, June 30th, 2024, starting at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time, on a Zoom call with Kelly Albrecht, Albrecht, Senior Threat Manager, Global Security and Investigations / Threat Management at Walmart. And this is what I say.
Hey, online, I say.
This is what she says.
The person that you believe is paying.
It's a good question. She didn't need all this information to just look up what I asked her to look up, which was who was playing Paris.
Who's the person that you believe is getting paid and these kickbacks?
Okay, so I say online. I say if somebody, it has to be upper management because it's been that way forever. Somebody who's also involved with the point of sale stuff that I've been tracking for years. A lot of people think, all I'm doing is playing tobacco ads. That's all. It's like, no, it's more than getting kids to smoke. the money from this is going toward bad things, which I believe is like,
Yeah, so that was a really specific thing I wanted to talk to you
Yeah,
about.
it's the shooting,
Like,
right, yeah.
if you thought someone was going to shoot up a Walmart soon, so we can get out of this
Oh,
and start.
yeah, it's whoever, I'm sure it's whoever is playing cigarette ads. Get rid of that. If you find the person who's playing cigarette ads,
Yeah.
you're finding the source of money that's behind some more Walmart shoots. They're desperate right now. Like, you need to find that person tonight. And that was
I guess I don't understand if you could put it together for me. What is the correlation between the shootings and big tobacco?
Okay, so I played that a second time. What I'm not telling her is that our very own store, there was this one girl I did not trust, an Asian girl, and I was online pickup and delivery now inside the store. I hadn't been outside the store in forever. And she kept coming up with these reasons and emergencies that I needed to be outside at a certain time to put stuff in the trunk of the car. And I said, okay, this is the way they're going to do it. It's not going to be a shooting inside. They're going to shoot up my Walmart store. They're going to kill me and say I am the shooter, because I was getting stuff on my, after this, I was getting stuff on my phone. If you ever need any mental health stuff, Walmart's willing to do this and that. I kept getting all of a sudden mental health this, mental health that, and please find, free counseling for mental health. I mean, they were going to paint me as mental whatever and kill me and shoot up the Walmart store where I was, except there was a couple of things they were going to do, I was thinking. They were going to either do it outside in the online pickup and delivery area where there's a whole bunch of people and, oh, look at this, instead of inside the store, because people aren't expecting that. So they wanted me timed at a certain time to be outside. It would be very easy to plan this, and a lot of people go, oh, it takes too many planning. The girl who is doing this does not know it's for a shooting. She doesn't know any of this. She was just told by somebody that, like, oh, they were going to surprise her outside. You need to do this so that this person can meet her. She doesn't know anything about it. Make sure she delivers at this time. And it's all good and everything. She's not a part of the shooting. But and then the person saying that doesn't even know. They're just told bullshit and they do stuff, and nobody involved in any of this stuff knows what's going on. They're just doing everyday stuff, but it's just the butt fuckers know how to control at any given time. They can make anybody do almost anything, and it's not bad. I mean, the whole of it is, but the people doing it don't understand it, and this is what their strength is. So I saw this, and I said, so the first time they went out, I tweeted, I said, okay, if I don't come back, this is what's happening. There's going to be a shooting at this store. I was putting this on Twitter. I wasn't going to tell anybody I'm not going out there because I'm afraid of being shot. I just will refuse to do that. I'd rather get shot than look that paranoid or have it affect my work that way. I do not want it affecting my work. I just saw it happening, and I said, okay, here we go. If this happens and they say it's me, it's not me. And the first time I went out during this weird time, like, oh, it's an emergency. It's always an emergency. There's an emergency. You need to get off of your job here and go do the job over here. Like the first time in 4 months. And it wasn't even an emergency, I could tell, because there were 4 other people back there that could have done this. She just needed to get me to do this specific delivery. So I do the delivery in the trunk of the car, and the kid driving is a teenager, a red-headed gay teenager is driving, like he just learned to drive or something, and his mom, and he's got the minivan. Okay, I said, oh, well, shit. I took a picture of the license plate, and left in case it was a dry run and they were going to come back later. And then I went in and something, and I wasn't shot. And I said, oh, great. The second time that happened, it was the same thing, except it was like a gay father of some kids. It was a gay, red-headed father of a baby or whatever out in a minivan. Okay? So twice I'm asked to go out there at an emergency when it wasn't an emergency, and twice it's like a red-headed, closeted gay person, and I took pictures of their license plates, and that's it. I have it, whatever. I mean, it's in my photos in case something happened, or I put it, like, I think I might have even I didn't tweet out the license plate number, but every time I went out there, I said, okay, this is it, people. I'm just gonna go do my job. And then the other thing I thought they had planned, and this was before this meeting with her. Okay, this was before this. I didn't say anything about this to her. I'm just saying, I didn't tell her this, but at least it's recorded. If something had happened to me, the person who did it was the butt fucking piece of shit who was playing Paris. Okay, I would have died, but at least they would have, maybe, I don't know, figured it out. I doubt it at that point. That was 2 years ago. Well, Trump, I don't know, whatever. It's just now they're not going to be able to get away with this kind of shit. And then the other thing I thought was, every time you're now with the mass shooting, we have to do the drills. And the drill is always run first, fight if you can't, and then whatever it is. But of course, the next planned shooting is 2 shooters. And this is still in the works. They can't afford it anymore. There's going to be no more mass shootings. But of course, the next mass shooting would be, and possibly still would be if they do it at a Walmart, is where they train everybody to do the opposite, is have a shooter on the inside and then a shooter waiting outside at the door opposite, and that's you get the whole crowd going out that door away from the shooter, and then there's a second shooter outside, just mows down everybody, 50 dead because they're all standing out there at the safe place, and then it's not 50 dead, it's probably 2 or 3 that die, but then they kill 50 of them on the way to the hospital, and they can't do that anymore. So anyway, so I would go by, and I said, and I wrote on Twitter, I said, hey, butt fuckers, if you have a shooting in here, I'm going to, first of all, throw my phone in the opposite direction as far as possible, run almost toward the shooter, and climb up on, I always had a place where I was going to just climb up and lie flat. And if they had a camera up there seeing it and I was still shot, that shows you that the person who saw me on the camera is at the Walmart, and the security is responsible for the shooting. Like, she's on top of aisle 5, whatever, on the like the stacks. Like, when I would just climb the shelves and just lie flat with my phone. So if they're tracking me on my phone is somewhere else. And if they see me on a stack, it's from a camera. So it's just whatever it was. If I was going to die, they were going to be at least caught. And I was writing this whole thing. I was tweeting this shit. If we're gonna do this, you're gonna be fucking caught. Now the people doing it don't know that, but at least it's something. I used to say that all the time. It's something. If I'm riding my bike home, if they run me over, at least it's not an accident. If they whatever. So here we go. So remember, this was that interview was June 30th. I worked Monday, Tuesday, cigarette ads, Wednesday, especially Paris. Wednesday, cigarette ads. Off Thursday, where I sent a tweet that said, "What better day to celebrate the 4th of July than exposing your employer for tobacco advertising, for cigarette advertising." I tweeted that out. That was the last tweet I sent out before I was fired. I didn't send it because I was working on this video that whole time on the 5th, and I went to film the thing on the 5th. So then I work on that Saturday the 6th. I'm working, and my boss lady says, "Oh, we're doing evaluations all day. We're doing evaluations," and she believed it, and she knew it. I mean, she's not involved in this. She seriously thought that she was taking people in for evaluations, including me, and I'm sure she had a good one for me. I'm sure she's going to be a witness later. I was a good worker. I really was. I'm not management material because I didn't want to be manager, but I really did a good job and enjoyed my work and whatever it was. So we go in at like, whatever. She was picking people off of their job. "Oh, come on in. We're going to do an evaluation." We never talked to this guy, and I've never seen him, and that's good. I mean, I don't want to see the store director. He's got more important things to do than to micromanage the way they kind of do at Lowe's a little bit. But so I go in, and this is what happened.
So, could you repeat, you said that home office? This wasn't you doing this? This is somebody at home office decided this?
So all the further questions will have to go to the home office, okay? And this is under gross misconduct, so you are aware of that.
So it says 7/6/24, about noon, getting fired from Walmart under gross misconduct. Now, I thought it was an evaluation, so I didn't get the camera rolling. He doesn't know I had the camera rolling. I didn't want to say anything. I just got it rolling and pointed down at my seat when it was almost all over. But he said it was under gross misconduct, and I was trying to get him to repeat that, and he wouldn't repeat it.
It's about my post.
So,
I don't understand if you could put it together.
To go to the home office, okay? And this is under gross misconduct, so you are aware of that.
It's about my posts on X. I think you said X posts, right?
and he wouldn't say it again. I think he knew I was filming. Anyway, whatever. He did say it was about my posts on X. And he also said, "Oh, we'll see."
Right?
Yeah.
Alright, what's up?
So he says, "Contact home office." Who do I contact at the home office? I contacted Kelly Albrecht, and I don't contact anybody by phone. Ever, ever, ever. You need to have a written something of everything. So I sent her an email, and she never responded back. Or I sent her an email a couple weeks later or whatever. So I said, Thank you, Richard. Oh, this says 7/6/24 being fired by Walmart. Full video on 7/26 is about noon, and this is the full video of it.
So could you repeat, you said that home office, this wasn't you doing this, this is somebody at home office decided this?
So all the further questions will have to go through home office, okay?
Okay.
And this is under gross misconduct, so you are aware about that.
It's about my posts on X. I think you said X posts, right?
So, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Oh, okay. Oh, go. Okay. Oh. Thanks, Richard.
Okay, so in that room with me was Kathleen Young. I think it's Catherine Young. Oh my God, what is her first name? Her last name is Young like me, but she's the one who actually hired me too. She was ready to give me, she was just as much as shocked as I was, so she's a witness in this. He said it was my posts on X. It was from home office. I'd had to contact them, and they had spoken with me about it. They had spoken with me about it. No, the whole hour video I have, and I said I am not giving this up until they stop playing that, especially Paris. Every time they mention Paris, I'm gonna post that video and blast everybody. I was blasting like NBC. I was blasting the Walmart site. I was blasting Walmart World and Walmart site on Twitter, and I just like, nope. You're gonna stop playing that fucking cigarette ad, and that's it. Like I wasn't gonna deal with this shit. I wasn't. At that point I had gone through their set list, and it was like 1,000 great songs they could play, and they only had, what was that, like a dozen cigarette ads, and the one especially, just do that, just the one. Stop getting them to play Paris, the song by the Chainsmokers. What is so fucking hard about that? Like, so they didn't do it. They fired me instead, and it was from home office, and they wouldn't contact me. Contact home office who? I emailed Kelly Albrecht, and she never emailed me back like a month later, and she's probably fired or just told to ignore me. And anyway, we're in the middle of a lawsuit if it ever gets anywhere. I've sued them for a wrongful termination, but defamation, and it's defamation. Right here is the defamation. He says at one point, listen for it. I didn't know this until later, but he says, oh, also they have written defamation. Oh, when we went through the unemployment and that shit, and they have defamation, libel everywhere. They're saying she did this, she did that, and it's just all lies. So I've got him on defamation. But here's an interesting one that has to do with restraining orders, because he says, hand her the trespass warrant outside. There was no trespass warrant. If there was one, it was a lot of lies to it. Somebody lied to him, my store director, and said there was a trespass warrant. There's such, that right there is 100% fucking buttfucker central. I wish I had the little video that says, so gay. When they start talking about trespass warrants to make it look like I'm a dangerous person and this kind of shit, that's not, and the trespass was to keep me away from that Walmart forever. I could never enter that Walmart again. What the fuck? When somebody's fired, you can't tell them to stay away from that Walmart forever. Like, even if they did, I don't know what somebody could have done. Maybe even arrested. I wasn't arrested. I wasn't anything. I'm just being fired for my posts on X. And they say it's so dangerous that I can't get to that Walmart anymore. So that is this right here. Listen.
Hi. Do I have anything over here?
Okay, so that was Richard, my store director. You just heard it. Issue what? The trespass warrant issued outside is what he said. There was no trespass warrant. It doesn't exist. It's just like I did this all over again a year earlier. I knew all about it. There's no fucking, the whole trespass warrant, the whole restraining order shit is just buttfucker central. They just make that shit up. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to sue him over that. Walmart, why don't you find out, instead of me suing you, why don't you find out who told my store director that I had a trespass warrant against me? That's all I want. Like, I could, you understand, I could sue you for so much over this shit once the court systems get in order, maybe not. But it's like, find out who played Paris, find out who played it on the 22nd, find out who told, I'm just going to ask him anyway. You're going to avoid this? I guess you're going to try to say that there's nothing here? Who told my fucking store director that there was a trespass warrant against me? Okay? From headquarters. Now, why are we doing this? So that I win $1 million? So that I win $1,000? It doesn't. No, because that's the person who's going to shoot up the Walmart store for real. Okay? So if they shoot up the Walmart store, I told you. Okay, I don't want to be right, but I don't understand the mentality of not doing this. It's so simple to look into this. Like, I have to really go and actually sue you and depose my own boss from... They're going to say, oh, I forgot. No, you didn't forget. This is all documented. We know who said what and who ordered this from the headquarters. I don't, but you do. So that's the person who's going to shoot up the Walmart once all this stuff starts to fall. Okay? I'm talking about the Walmart headquarters. He's after the radio people. All right.
I have something in my locker. Can I get the stuff out of the locker or no?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go to the locker and then we go outside. Okay, thanks.
So walking next to me is Kathleen. Oh my God. I should have looked that up before I did this video. I'm sorry, Young. I'm so sorry. You were like one of the best managers. You and Jennifer and that other one. I forgot all their names. Was it Jennifer? Jen. Yeah, Jen and her and three of them were fantastic. And even my store director, he was like, he really did some good barbecue. And I just loved everybody there. Anyway, it was a great place. Walmart knows how to do their shit. But I was being escorted by her and a Florida sheriff, Gainesville PD or Gainesville sheriff or something. They were all nice. He was nice. They knew I wasn't a threat. I never act like a threat.
Being escorted out. Okay. Saturday, July 6, 2024, being terminated at Walmart for my ex-posts. I wasn't able to record the conversation because I thought it was a performance. Evaluation. But he said they came from home office, it was above his head, and it was because they spoke to me about my ex-posts. Posts on X. Okay. Bye.
Alright, so this video is going to be a couple hours long. I'm not going to call it gay. It's not gay Nazi. It's not gay Nazi tobacco swamp pedophile hunting part 6 that's coming up after this. Hi, but I'm going to play the whole video. It's only 20 minutes long. It's just that when you can go back and watch the video, I'm just giving all as much background to it as I can. But a little bit later, before the Olympics happened, between that and now I'm sort of relating it up to the Olympics. So this is Lady Gaga's security risk at the Olympics in Paris explained. So I'm still having fits about the Olympics. It's all boo security. Kelly Clarkson was an announcer there. She was going to be in Paris, and I was just like having bad vibes all over the place. Remember now, it's like, yeah. Okay, so this is Huguette Nicole Young, Nate Pelletier. This was my H Nicole Young 222 account because H Nicole Young 111 was taken down 2 or 3 days after I was fired, and that was a collaborative effect. This is why I'm bringing in Rico, because this is not just Walmart. This is Walmart in collaborations with Twitter and collaborations with some freaking. I'm pretty sure like Twitter and then YouTube and then some people up in LA. And I just after I was arrested, all that center shit. It's mostly the family court swamp in LA that I'm after the most, and they're the least wealthy. The people I'm after the most have the least amount of money. So you know I'm not doing this for money. I mean, look, I'm suing Google, I'm suing TMZ. Well, actually TMZ, I'm definitely, they're the biggest ones I'm going to go after, actually. And they do have a lot of money because that's Fox, I guess. But Walmart, Twitter, Google, billion, probably $1 trillion together in market cap with all these people. And I'm going after these fucking little piece of shit family court people. Anyway, we'll do this later when we do the lawsuits, okay? Because we're doing the family court swamp now. Yeah, keep Lady Gaga and all her major cigarette ads the fuck away, in capital letters, the fuck away from Kelly Clarkson at Olympics in Paris. Lady Gaga is just the female version of Jason Aldean when it comes to cigarette ads for the gay Nazi asshole tobacco swamp butt fuckers. Almost 100% threat of violence with her. Okay, this is on a rumor that she's going to be at the Olympics, and she was there. So let's go on and see what's going on. I did the same thing with her as I did with Jason Aldean now. I'm going to show you clips of her cigarette ads and her singing. Okay? So I just repeated, this is part 3, so let's just do this. So I went through very quickly and redid all the Jason Aldean because I mentioned him earlier. So let's do that again. I'm going to edit this. That's a song called Red and Blue from 2006, Lady Gaga song. That's Paparazzi from 2008. Very popular cigarette ad. It's one of the biggest ones. That and Ironic played up forever on the radios. But she says this twice. So I'm showing clips from her video where she's miming smoking a cigarette, and then there's a scene in her video for this. I say, by the way, the #1 method of murder for gay Nazi tobacco swamp buttfuckers is poison. And it shows her poisoning her boyfriend in this video. And he keels over. And I said, this includes victims from mass shootings being poisoned on the way to the hospital. And he's like keeled over. It's all very gay Nazi.
I just killed my boyfriend.
And the end of the video, she's calling 911 and she says, this is an emergency. And then she says, I just killed my boyfriend. And that's it. So the next one is Telephone from 2010. It's with Beyonce. Very popular song. It says there are no cigarette lyrics in Telephone, but Lady Gaga by Lady Gaga and Beyonce. But there are. But the opening sequence of the video. But in the opening sequence of the video, Lady Gaga is wearing eyeglasses made of cigarettes. It's like, 24 cigarettes. The eyeglasses. It's just very. I mean, it's obviously a cigarette ad. And then she's kissing, like doing lesbian kiss with one of the inmates.
Hello, hello, baby, you come back into everything.
So this is Alejandro, 2010. Lady Gaga, 2010. She says, don't want to kiss, don't want to touch, just smoke my cigarettes and hush. She says that 4 times. And the 4th time she says it, I showed the video where she has like a cigarette or a pipe or something. I don't know what she has there, but there's all these gay men standing naked in front of her, and she's like being a queen over them or something. So I did that. This is sped up, you guys, but it's Donatella 2013. I'm not going to slow it down. It's just, you get the gist. Donatella 2013 mentions Marlboro Lights and Marlboro Reds and a few times.
I can't wait to smoke them all whole. I got Marlboro, blow it in your face, blow it in your face, blow it in your face. We have been breathing, we have been breathing. We smoke them up, we smoke them up, we smoke them up. We have been breathing, we have been breathing. We smoke them up, we smoke them up, we smoke them up, we smoke.
So this is A-YO, A-YO 2016. It's the last one I have here. Since then, she's done more. I think Die With a Smile doesn't have a cigarette mentioned, but the video, she has a cigarette in her mouth, I think, the whole time. But, yeah, this is Marlboro's again. She does a lot of Marlboro ads. She's very tobacco. She is a tobacco-supported artist, and you'll see later why I say that.
We have been breathing, we have been breathing.
This is all sped up too. I'm not going to slow it down. So now I move right on to Celine Dion's security risk at the Olympics in Paris explained, because I just saw a post by Mr. Pop who says Celine Dion and Lady Gaga are currently staying at the same hotel in Paris. And it shows a picture of them kind of hugging each other here. I don't know if that's in Paris or not, but now I'm going to explain Celine Dion's relationship to tobacco. It's all boo security. It's just like the Jason Aldean thing. It's throwing spaghetti against the wall, but trying to prevent a mass shooting at the Olympics involving my boo especially. So Lady Gaga is the champion female pop singer doing the most cigarette ads for the gay Nazi tobacco swamp buttfuckers who run most mass shootings, by the way, while Celine Dion has no cigarette songs. They're like opposites. Celine's manager and husband, Rene Angeli, an ex-smoker first diagnosed with throat cancer in 1999, was adamant about Celine never doing cigarette ads in her music. He was a great manager for her and a great husband. But when an immovable object, Rene, met an unstoppable force, in other words, as of 2003, the gay Nazi tobacco swamp buttfucker capital of the world, Las Vegas, had never allowed a female singer to have a residency without doing cigarette ads. So the unstoppable force are the gay Nazi swamp buttfuckers and tobacco swamp buttfuckers in Las Vegas. And on the left is a picture of her at Caesar's Palace where she did her residency, and where Kelly later did her residency, and where Dolly Parton very wisely canceled her residency for a while. She said it was sickness, and I said I'm saying these guys are like, there's going to be a shooting there if they don't stop the damn cigarette ad shit and route them out at the Caesar's Palace, man. There's Swamp Buttfucker Central, and they're all imploding right now, you guys. Anyway, but, so the next thing is, we have a compromise, okay? Because an unstoppable force met an immovable object. So we have a compromise. Here is Celine Dion covering a song, because she doesn't have a cigarette song in her catalog. So she's doing "I Wish" by Stevie Wonder in Las Vegas, and she did that at every show between 2003 and 2007. Every single show she's singing the cigarette ad, and here she is doing it right now, smoking cigarettes and so that was the cigarette ad. Other female pop stars who don't typically do cigarette ads but were required to sing about cigarettes or smoking to secure a residency in Las Vegas, and here they are. First one. So this is I Need You. It's a duet. Faith Hill and Tim McGraw, they did this. They opened their show with this, I think, or they ended it, from 2012 to 2013. It's the opening lyrics too. Whenever the opening lyrics mentions smoking cigarettes or cigarettes, it's an ad. It's a tobacco ad. They do it in the first line or first song. Now she doesn't actually sing that song, but it was required that they duet this together.
I wanna drink a shot of whiskey. I wanna smoke a cigarette.
This is, and then on the left is a picture of them two sitting intimately close together, singing this duet. The duet is called "I Need You," and it was called the "I Need You" residency, I think. Yeah, it was a big deal. Hey, so on the left is "If You Seek Amy," and you could read that as "F-U-C-K me," "Fuck Me" by Britney Spears, but it's "If You Seek Amy" are the actual words. She sang this at every one of her shows from 2013 to 2017. Now, she doesn't have a cigarette song anywhere. She's kind of like Celine that way, but they forced her to do this, like they had control of her kids. This girl, you talk about somebody that everybody just let, whatever, let's start this. So, yeah, these are the opening lines of that song. Is she in the bathroom? Is she smoking up outside? So she doesn't have any cigarette mentions, but is she smoking up outside? And then here you see her miming the smoking. Paris Hilton did that too. He covered this song and he's miming the smoking, and he really promoted her. Every time she did a tobacco ad, he would promote her like crazy, and every time she didn't do whatever the butt fuckers wanted, he would fry her in his little post. Fucking butt fucking piece of tobacco swamp shit. Probably a pedophile too, now that we're thinking that. When we look back on this, all the tobacco swamp butt fuckers are pedophiles probably. This is the song Girls by Jennifer Lopez. She did this at her residency from 2016 to 2018. And it's also not a cigarette. It's All Eyes on Me, the way he's been smoking. And she does this very sexy kind of, dance on a recliner during this song. Very sexy, but I don't have the video of it. So this is the song called My Mistake by Kelly Clarkson. She didn't do a cigarette ad on her album, but she did do a tobacco ad, which is this song called My Mistake. She wouldn't have gotten the residency if she didn't do this. It was a good compromise. I thought, you need to get the residency, and to say no, then you could just go home and not do anything. That's for everybody. But she only sang it one time on stage, though, and that was it, even though she's had many, many shows. And she never really doesn't talk about it. So she did it once, and that's it. And, if I didn't say anything, nobody would even know. But I'm just showing a pattern here. So when I saw this, it made me wonder, when I was looking this up, if Celine has done any cigarette ads since I last checked over a decade ago. I used to do this shit all the time and checking in who's smoking what, and then gave it up for a long time, and then came back to it recently when Kelly started to have residencies there. I'm going, what the hell? So I looked it up, and you go to Google and you say, hey Google, please search the term Celine Dion cigarette lyrics. And Celine Dion cigarette lyrics. And the first video is called Celine Dion, a song called Ashes from Deadpool 2. The Deadpool 2 motion picture. So here it is. Here's the clip from that. Okay, so this song mentions smoke twice and ashes 7 times, and I always refer to any song that mentions smoke, cigarettes, or ashes, or cigars. What else? Cigars, cigarettes, smoke, and ashes is usually what I search. And you're saying, but that doesn't, ashes, at least, especially in the context of this song, it doesn't have anything to do with smoking. Well, it doesn't matter, because that's, and that doesn't matter, because you're getting the word out there so kids can hear it, and they don't know. Like somebody says, like the most recent tobacco songs, I'll be showing this later, is this country song which goes, she smoked her tires. I didn't hear the tires part of it. Nobody's paying attention. I wasn't paying attention. I'm across the room and I hear something like, she smoked her, and I thought, I don't know what she smoked. But it sounded like, the first thing you associate is she's smoking something, not her tires. And they know this. The people making these songs freaking know this. Better believe it. Butt fucking assholes. Don't even argue with me about this shit. And another thing is, I don't have time. I don't have time to parcel out what they meant, or what this is, and this is pot tobacco. Ashes, smoke, cigarette, cigar. And that's it. And you can interpret it all you want. But there's so much evidence that they push this shit. The Tobacco Swamp pushes songs that does this. Okay, like this one. You say, oh, look, that's so innocent. Well, even as of 2018, when her husband died in 2017, she's still refusing to do due to the word cigarette. So they compromised, and they had her sing a song it wasn't about watching dreams go up in smoke and ashes. They wanted to put smoke and ashes into a song, and then they just worked the lyrics around it. That's how this song came about. and it was for Deadpool 2, and I kind of proved this later. By the way, Ashes, Celine Dion, Deadpool 2. By the way, Ryan Reynolds, the actor who plays Deadpool, is closeted gay. Just FYI, and boy, do I have a whole thing on this later for all the Blake Lively shit and how that's related even to the stuff I'm doing in my lawsuits and everything. Family court, LA shit, my arrest, the whole thing. Now keep in mind, okay, but, quote unquote, but smoke and ashes aren't referring to cigarettes in Celine Dion's song, quote unquote, is the argument usually. The 5-year-old hearing this song on Walmart radio doesn't know the difference. Google knows, and everybody else knows. You know full well what they're doing. They're, normalizing the words cigar, ashes, smoke. It doesn't matter what it is. Smoke and mirrors, whatever. They just need that word out there. Plus, the opening scene of Deadpool 2, which shows Deadpool smoking a lot of cigarettes and which uses some of the same footage as the music video for Ashes, confirms this song is a bona fide tobacco ad for Celine. So this is her music video, the pictures and memories and things. Okay, that's her music video, and here's the opening scene with it's showing the opening scene to Deadpool 2. It's Ryan Reynolds dressed as Deadpool, smoking a cigarette. He's has a little doll of Wolverine that he's stabbed or something. Now he's putting strudels, whatever that's called, the strudels, into the oven. Okay, so you just saw in the opening sequence to Deadpool the same clip of the pictures on the wall that was in the Celine Dion video. So it's definitely a cigarette ad for her, and it's a subtle way, but it's sometimes subtle is worse than anything else. So this is the opening scene. Deadpool is lying on a big can of gasoline with a cigarette, and he's gonna blow himself up. So he's killing himself.
Fuck Wolverine.
He says, "Fuck Wolverine." And I say, "Did you notice the product placement ad for Pillsbury toaster strudels?" He was putting a toaster strudel in a little toaster oven in this scene. So I say, "Hey Google, who owns Pillsbury?" And Pillsbury's parent organization is General Mills. Oh, interesting. I've been having a fit for weeks. It's more like months about the tobacco swamp joining forces with the religion swamp. For example, General Mills, for one, to pull off a mass shooting or some other violence at the Olympics in Paris, and then blame it on Hamas. So what started this? Let's do this. I did have a little bit of a side hustle going on here. So in May of 2024, I'm working at Walmart, and I come across these Cheez-Its. I'm going, whoa, what was this? Like, there's just a new advertisement for Cheez-Its, where it has a guy on the box, looks like he's smoking a cigarette. If you're just walking by and don't pay too close of attention, he's holding up a Cheez-It with two fingers like it's a cigarette. He's got kind of a headband that looks like smoke, and there's a little something in the corner. It looks like cigarettes. So this is a tobacco ad, and up close, whatever. I don't know. I still don't know what this shit is. It looks like cigarette advertisement for sure. Now, say it isn't. Go ahead. It's just like you'd be amazed at how much I don't give a fuck. Okay, this is a tobacco ad. Get out of my face. Okay, and if you don't believe it, that's fine too. Just get out of my face. I don't care. Don't believe it or not. It doesn't matter. I'm showing all my work. I'm showing where I get this from. So it's by Kellanova. I said, who makes cheese? I didn't even know it's Kellanova. That's Kellogg's. That's K. They Kellanova. Oh, in May, what's going on with Kellanova? Didn't Jerry Seinfeld just do an entire movie about Kellogg's? Yes, he did. It was called Unfrosted, and it had Melissa McCarthy. That's Kelly Clarkson's neighbor, by the way. And there's a relationship there. But Melissa McCarthy, what's that redheaded gay comedian guy? Whatever. Jim Gaffigan was in that, and they're all smoking. It's a tobacco. So anything involving Jerry Seinfeld is going to be the religion swamp. And I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, but it's just a fact of life that if you are a big celebrity or a big star anywhere in Hollywood or anywhere, and you are also Jewish, then you're just a part of the religion swamp, whether you want to be a part of it or not. It's just the way it goes. So it's religion swamp and tobacco swamp again. It's a religion swamp movie, and now, so at this point, when that movie came out, I associated Kellogg's with the religion swamp, and all the stocks for Kellogg's, for General Mills, PepsiCo, all the cereal people, Post, they're all like religion swamp stocks to me. They also all went up very high, or they did very well right after October 2023, when there was the fake religious war in Gaza and all that shit, where they got a ton of money from Congress and it went right into the religion swamp butt fuckers. It went right back to them in Congress and elsewhere. That stuff didn't go to anywhere in Gaza. It didn't do anything except go. So all their stocks showed it, and I said, oh, Kellogg's is a religion swamp stock, and now they're partnering with a tobacco swamp stock. Now they're advertising cigarettes to kids for Altria Marlboro. So here we are, a religion swamp, tobacco swamp collaboration right in front of me in May. And that was when I was, so that's that. All right, goodbye. Goodbye, Cheez-Its. So here's what I said in July, after they played, the Fray and God Smoking in Paris and all this shit. This is before all that. This is in May, but this then later. Okay, so the Today Show posted something. It said Jason and Travis Kelce have teamed up with General Mills to combine their favorite cereals, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms, and Reese's Puffs, into one bowl called the Kelce Mix. I'm not sure they're still selling this shit. Maybe they are. And I tweeted, yeah, we know the NFL is controlled by gay Nazi asshole tobacco swamp buttfuckers who rig games and also run most mass shootings, like the failed one in Kansas City run by tobacco swamp buttfuckers from NFL and the Chiefs after the last rigged Super Bowl. But it's relatively new info since the movie Unfrosted that breakfast cereals, Kellogg's US, Post cereals, General Mills, and snack chips and sodas like PepsiCo are controlled by gay Nazi asshole religion swamp buttfuckers, and both swamps have joined forces to pull off a mass shooting or other violence at the Olympics in Paris. So that was that post, and I don't even know the date, July 23rd. All right, so what are we doing? I envy people who smoke. They are super cool. So I'm delving into Celine more, and she had a documentary called I Am Celine Dion that came out at the time, and in it there's some minor cigarette ads. She says, I envy people who smoke. They are super cool. And in the video shown here, she's miming smoking cigarettes. And they also had in the documentary a picture of her as a kid with a cigarette in her hand, and I don't know if that's a lit cigarette or a candy cigarette, but she looks like she's just 13 there, 12 or 13. When I saw more cigarette ads in I Am Celine Dion, and when I saw that Celine's real voice, when she wasn't lip syncing in her last Las Vegas residency performance in 2019, was already showing big problems. Like, I don't think she ever lip synced, but I think her last year where she had problems there, I think she was lip syncing when I saw the video of it. So once I saw all this, I concluded that, okay, here's my conclusion from all this. Under Renee's protection before he died, and while Celine was still relatively strong from 2011 to 2016, her voice, she had that problem. Celine became the first female pop star to have a Las Vegas residency without having to do smoking ads during her show. She didn't. So 2003 to 2007 was the I Wish compromise, Stevie Wonder. But then 2011, she had some power, and she said no to the tobacco swamp buttfucker, she and Renee. And from 2011 to 2017, she had no tobacco ads in her residency at all, on her set list or anywhere. Then, after he died, she was doing Ashes during her residency for Deadpool 2 at the residency from 2018 to 2019. Now, yeah, that's a cigarette ad, bona fide. If you're advertising the whole movie, you are. Okay? And I have since come to the conclusion that a lot of people who, you never know if they had cancer or not. A lot of this stuff has been faked. Like they faked cancer on him, possibly. He was a smoker. But if they've had it and they recovered, they are susceptible, highly susceptible to just being murdered because nobody will question it. And that was the same with Olivia Newton-John, live by tobacco, die by tobacco. But Renee was just murdered just to make room for this Deadpool 2 shit for Celine. She never would have done this shit and sung about ashes and did this if Renee were alive. So they killed him. Tobacco Swamp, the Las Vegas Tobacco Swamp buttfuckers. This is how powerful they are. This is what Kelly's dealing with. This is why I'm having fits over her singing like the White Stripes, Seven Nation Army, the last time she did a residency there. Whatever cigarette ads she has coming up, I just have fits about it because she's damned if she does and she's damned if she doesn't. If she doesn't sing cigarette ads, they'll kill some of her family members. Kill me, kill her, kill whatever. And then if she does do the cigarette ads, then she's sucked into this bullshit. You know, she's promoting more than more than anybody thought. She's promoting pedophilia now, and not promoting it, but the stuff that she's doing is funding, ultimately going back to the coffers of the infantophiles and pedophiles and gay Nazi buttfuckers in Vegas. So it's quite a conundrum for all celebrities and all talented artists. And this is the year when it gets all blown up. So we're going to try to do boo security and make sure everybody gets out the other side in one piece. But this is what's going on. And I this is all in a video from a year and a half ago now. I mean, it's not 100% correct and it still might not be, but I'm way on the right track. Way more than most people on this shit. So, yeah, so there she was. And then we have Faith Hill, I Need You, and Britney Spears, If You Seek Amy, Jennifer Lopez. Now, this isn't a complete list. You have to look up all the women who have done residencies there, but I'm sure they recently were forcing Dolly Parton to do a cigarette ad. You talk about somebody who hasn't done a cigarette ad in forever is Dolly Parton. I mean, this is talent at its best. She is so talented and so good that she doesn't do them, and they were probably forcing her to do one, and she said, I'm sick, bye, and she canceled her residency there. So good for Dolly. You know, she wasn't sick. She just canceled. Okay. So the final text overlay says, but ever since 2017, when Celine was tapped to do Ashes by the Tobacco Religion Swamp buttfuckers filming Deadpool 2, she has been neck deep in tobacco and religion swamp caca. Celine and anybody around her are a high security risk at the Olympics in Paris. Do not poo-poo this. So I'm having fits. That's it. So if you guys remember in Paris, if there was a shooting and I thwarted it, and what harm in letting me believe this, there was still violence that happened away from Paris that was associated. Okay, so instead of violence remember there was a lot of religion shit going on there too. So there was religion swamp at the opening ceremonies. Remember that? They had the whole controversy with all these gay guys being whatever, these trans women, this and whatever. It's all trans women, Jesus and the Last Supper and all this stuff. So no shooting there, but there was a religion swamp. Okay, if it's a stabbing, it's religion swamp. There was a religion swamp stabbing of a little redheaded girl. Well, actually, there were other girls, but they purposely stabbed a redheaded girl because that's like the prime. That's like stabbing a goddess because it's a little redhead. You know, of course they're going to stab that to receive maximum impact. You know, because the buttfuckers believe everybody thinks this. Oh, it's a redheaded girl. Oh, what a tragedy. Let's kill her. Because that's going to bring attention. And they do this all the time whenever they want a high impact, emotional impact. They'll kill a redheaded kid to make sure that it's this isn't just a black kid or some kind of brown kid. This is a white, blue-eyed, redheaded kid. Like, wow, when we kill them, they're worth 10 times more than anybody. And they are worth 10 times more to the infantophiles and the little baby dick suckers. Okay, it's been this way for millennia. I'm going to explain that later. But they did that. They stabbed a little redheaded girl and two others in England. And that was religion swamp. And it was Olympics related. Okay, it wasn't a Muslim who did that. By the way, the Muslims fight with the Jews. It's mostly Jewish people doing this because the Muslims will circumcise their boys later, and as a result, instead of circumcising them within the first 7 days of birth, when it gets older like that, they tend to not do it as much, and there's fewer and fewer Muslims doing the circumcision now until there's hardly anybody circumcising, whereas the Jews are still doing it because they're still under the control of the infantophiles who want to suck the little baby dicks after they're circumcised. It's the sickest practice ever. Oh my God, people. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. But this is the reason we have so much Muslim versus Jewish conflict. Because the Muslims are not circumcising their kids anymore, and the Jews still are. And this is it's not the Jews, it's the buttfuckers who control the Jews. So this has got to stop, people. Anyway, that's the big conflict. And then there was a farm. So that's the religion swamp. Well, the tobacco swamp, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. They weren't able to pull off the mass shooting. Oh, they tried something. Anyway, the next thing that happened, the big tragedy, was a pharmaceutical swamp and defense contractor swamp collaboration in Brazil. So it was a plane crash. It was also related to the Olympics. It was a plane crash that went down that carried a whole bunch of doctors that were doing something on COVID. I forget what that was. Or it was a pharmaceutical swamp murder. They were trying to kill these doctors, I think. Because it's a plane crash, that's defense contractor swamp. So they had to collaborate for that disaster. So no mass shooting, but we still had other swamp violence going on at the Olympics. Okay, so we did Lady Gaga, we did Eagles of Death Metal, Lady Gaga, the Chainsmokers. Wait, in order of, so we did in chronological order. Eagles of Death Metal, then we did the Chainsmokers, then we did Jason Aldean and the Foo Fighters, and Lady Gaga and Celine Dion. So now we're post. I think I might have done this after the Olympics, but the next person we're going to cover is Miranda Lambert, biggest tobacco swamp of all, and of course. Totally associated with Brandfuck Buttfuck. That's Brandon Blackstock and Blake Shelton and that whole thing going on at Starstruck and everything. Just fucking tobacco swamp central. So we're going to do a Miranda Lambert tobacco and pharmaceutical ads from 2005 to 2013. She has a ton. I'm just going to play it right through. I do it all faster, I think. We'll see if it goes through quickly. I'm not slowing it down. I'm not doing anything. I gotta finish this. Let's go. So, Miranda Lambert, tobacco and pharmaceutical ads, 2005 to 2013. That's Kerosene, 2005. That was all Kerosene, 2005. Okay, so this was Gunpowder and Lead, one of her biggest first hits in 2007. And if you want to find the pedophile, the person at Kelly Clarkson's show who is sucking baby dicks without anybody realizing it, probably he is right here, babies. He is right here. He is somewhere. Where is he? Yeah. So here's your person on a silver platter. So whoever booked her, this is season 6 of the Kelly Clarkson show. It's not the opening day, but it's the second day. They're on the rooftop October 5th, 2024. And the song I just played is called Gunpowder and Lead. It's about a girl who, I don't know, she wants to shoot her boyfriend. He's out of jail. And so she gets her shotgun, and then she gets a high from a cigarette and loads her shotgun and shoots him. And this is what they decide to feature on the Kelly Clarkson show. I mean, if that's not the person that you need to catch as the fucking tobacco swamp pedophile piece of shit who is a security threat to the entire 30 Rock. Okay, find this thing. Now, yes, they had the same, Brandfuck Buttfuck. He's still alive at this time, and he still might have had something to do with this. And yeah, they're friends from way back from Blake Shelton and all that stuff. But still, you can get her on the show and not sing Gunpowder and Lead. And at least Kelly didn't sing the cigarette part. But still, this is like super bad. This is just not even 2 years ago. Damn, you look good though, baby girl. You look good. Okay, yeah, that's okay. That's her big hit from 2007. You shouldn't be opening the Kelly Clarkson show whole season on this. Sorry, guys, and not expect there to be like a shooting at freaking at 30 Rock sometime. That's horrible. I mean, they're not connected quite that way, but in my head they are. So that whoever is trying to advertise cigarettes is the Tobacco Swamp, and the Tobacco Swamp gets stuff done by shootings, politically. So they're all connected. That's called Getting Ready from 2007.
Makes you look cool and feel like need your cigarettes. Started young, it's too late to quit. Need your cigarettes. It ain't love, it's just like nicotine. You're addicted to a feeling you can only get from me, your cigarettes.
That's a song called Me and Your Cigarettes from 2009.
Light us up and then throw us down. It's just you and your cigarettes. It ain't love, it's just like nicotine. You're addicted to a feeling you can only get from me and your cigarettes.
That's Me and Your Cigarettes, mentioned a billion times from 2009.
Even though I hate to admit it, sometimes I smoke cigarettes. Christian folks say I should quit it. I just smile and say God bless.
That's Heart Like Mine. That was another big hit, 2009.
When the children were fiddling, she'd sip on some Ritalin.
Oh,
I play this old guitar, and children shows the smoky bars.
it's All Kinds of Kinds from 2011. I don't like any mention of kids anywhere near tobacco. Whenever you get tobacco and kids together, there's pedophilia going on. Whoever wrote this song, promoted this song, whatever it is, has been sucking baby dicks for forever.
I heard your 65 could really hold some bass. You got what?
Yeah, I do.
I'm feeling frisky, you're feeling good. I guess the whiskey is doing what it should. I got the cigarettes, you got a lighter. And when the sun goes down, we're starting to be fire.
This is Fastest Girl in Town from 2011. I think that's Danica Patrick, the big race car driver. I'm not sure. Fastest Girl in Town, yeah.
She's on the high dose road that a woman can take. Although she ain't gonna smile till she lights up her lucky. No filter on her mouth for her cigarettes. We're doing our head. Both gonna pay these bills. One's drinking, one's smoking, one's taking pills. One's drinking, one's smoking, one's taking pills. One's drinking, one's smoking, one's taking pills.
So that's Taking Pills from the Pistol Annies. That's Miranda Lambert, and I forget the name of the other two, and that's fine. And before I forgot to mention, I'm showing clips from the videos, like the Fastest Girl in Town. Miranda Lambert is actually smoking a cigarette in that one, and in this one, I think somebody's smoking a cigarette. The videos are showing the cigarettes and showing people smoking the cigarettes. This is The Hunter's Wife from 2011. And you say, what? There's no cigarettes in here. It's tobacco chewing, whatever. If it may mention tobacco, smoke, ashes, cigars, cigarettes, any of that, it's tobacco. That's I Feel a Sin coming on from 2013. Still the Pistol Annies, and just the word smoke is enough. That's it.
Blues, your buzzkill, your sneaker, or my pain pill. No smoke, it can't clear all this air.
That's Blues, You're a Buzzkill from 2013, Pistol Annies. This is Miranda Lambert, Tobacco and Pharmaceutical Ads Part 2. This is 2014 to 2016. So this is Smoking and Drinking from 2014 with Little Big Town. I sped it up considerably, but I mean they mentioned smoking and drinking like 24 times, and you get the point. And I'll probably leave it all in though. That's fine. Okay.
Red man, tobacco, grandpa's 2 cents, splitting law, smoking hog.
This is called Old Shit from 2014. Red man, tobacco, anything tobacco, and then even though she says smoking hogs, which are I guess hot dogs, I don't care. If it says smoking, it's going in.
It's hot with this smoking, can't seem to put down this big meal. Why you think the world smokes? Why you think we all smoke? Why you think we all smoke?
This is Hard Staying Sober from 2014.
I'm looking for a lighter, I already bought the cigarette. Guess I pick me up, have it on my way out of Lafayette.
This is Running Just in Case from 2016.
A smoker and a fighter, last night's clothes smell like smoke. When the Romeos and Juliets bummed all of my cigarettes. When the Romeos and Juliets bummed all of my cigarettes.
That's Ugly Lights from last night's close. This is Ugly Lights from 2016.
Sure you can light my cigarette, don't think you can light my heart.
This is Bad Boy from 2016.
Smoke breakers flirting on the steps of Maryland.
That's 6 Degrees of Separation from 2016.
I want a man with a smoking jacket. I want a man with a smoking jacket. We go together just like nicotine and Chanel. And when he lights up, I'm his lucky strike, waiting for him to exhale. I want a man with a smoking jacket. I don't need a diamond. I like wearing a smoke ring. I want a man with a smoking jacket, and he lights his matches with kerosene. I want a man with a smoking jacket. I want a man with a smoking jacket.
That's Smoking Jacket from 2016. Boy, that was a big year. Shoot. Miranda Lambert Pharmaceutical Ads, Part 3 from 2017 to 2024.
Mama would've smoked her a cigarette, maybe she wouldn't judge me.
That's The Milkman from 2018. After the song Milkman with the Pistol Annies in 2018, Miranda Lambert did not have a song mentioning the word cigarette or a particular tobacco brand again until her 2024 album, Postcards from Texas, which has 3 songs that mention cigarettes or Marlboros. Instead, Miranda's smoking-related songs from 2019 to 2023 reference only smoke, smoking, or lighters, all of which could be referring to marijuana as easily as tobacco. In fact, the song Armadillo, which starts out with an armadillo asking for a light, later reveals the armadillo is smoking a doobie. Marijuana. Miranda Lambert's cigarette advertising dry spell from 2019 to 2023 was possibly due to the tobacco swamp, MO, Marlboro Altria stock, imploding when Trump took office in 2017. And this is the stock of the Altria group, all the way up when I made this video, I guess it was 2023, but it shows Marlboro Obama, when he came into office, the Altria stock rose significantly from like 20 to 80. And then when Swamp Terminator Trump took office, it dove from 80 down back to 20, 30 or 40. Likewise, Miranda Lambert's slew of recently released cigarette ads in 2024 could mark a feeble attempt at a comeback for the tobacco swamp and should be viewed as a security threat for the time being. And then, that shows the stabilization. By the way, since then, the tobacco swamp has gone up and then down again, but it's higher than it is there. So they're just having a hard time getting that tobacco swamp to drain. We'll get there.
So stop, drop, and roll.
So here we're doing the songs that don't have cigarettes in them for a while. Stop, Drop, and Roll one from 2018. So the Tylenol is it's pretty common when the tobacco swamp implodes for artists and others to go to other swamps, and you'll see this a lot where they'll start to talk about marijuana more than cigarettes, not because the marijuana industry will promote it, but because the tobacco swamp will allow it or doesn't have enough money to prevent it. And then they'll go to pharmaceutical swamp, which is Adderall and Tylenol and Xanax mostly.
We'll smoke like a couple in the 1960s. Lit up like a pair of Woodstock hippies.
This is Fire Escape from 2019.
We'll smoke like a couple in the 1960s. Up all night like New York City. I'm here for the happy, complimentary matches. The smoke in the mirror. I'm not in pain, I'm not on pills. I'm not in pain, I'm not on pills. No, I'm not in pain, I'm not on pills.
Just mentioning pills and pain is more pharmaceutical. It's called Dark Bars from 2019.
It's gonna be a hell of a holiday and it's only just begun.
So this is, it says Miranda Lambert released 2 collaborative albums in 2021 and neither had tobacco references. Good for her. It was called the Marfa Tapes. I think she did it with Jack Ingram and John Randall. I don't know what. And then the Pistol Annies did A Hell of a Holiday. And neither of them had smoking in it. This is called Strange from 2022.
Well, I met an armadillo out in Amarillo and he asked me for a ride. Met an armadillo out in Amarillo and he asked me for a ride.
This is called Armadillo from 2024. Okay, so now her new song is 2024 is Damn It Randy from 2024. She's talking about smoking cigarettes. This is called Wranglers from 2024, and there's a picture of, okay, I think from the video or the lyric video, there's a cowboy smoking a cigarette. That's Bitch on the Sauce from 2024. I think that's, the next one is the last one. It goes by very quickly. Oh, this one goes by fast. This is Way Too Good at Breaking My Heart. 2024, it's the last one. By, that's it. Oops, sorry. My God, this is going to be, what is it, 2 hours? Living my best life, for sure. Dang, I've got so much stuff. It's just fun as hell. So, living my best life. It's a good day for a great day. Hang in there, everybody. Everything's going to be all right. And Godspeed to everybody coming out the other side in one piece. That's PEACE and PIEC. Bye.